What up, what up, what up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome back to another live stream. Happy Tuesday to all of you guys. I hope y'all are doing well. Thank y'all so much for being here once again. So I am back in the building, you guys. Shout out to everybody watching, everybody in the chat, everybody supporting the channel. So we gonna jump right in. Y'all see the title, Single Women Hate on Married Women, but Complain About Being Single and Lonely Plus More. Child, we gonna talk about it as we always do. We gonna talk about it because it's getting out of hand, and y'all know it. We know it. We see it on a daily basis. So happy Tuesday! Hope you guys are doing well. Shout out to everybody in the building. Alex, I am Alex. What's going on? Future King, how are you? Happy Tuesday. Lamaya, I think that's Lamaya. Good. Thank you so much for being here. Black, what's going on? Successful MD in the building. Shout out to you. Gina's Homely Mills, how are you? Thank you so much for being here. Fourth Dimension, Lorenzo Redmond, Daniel Cunningham. What's going on, Daniel? D, what's going on? How y'all doing? Thank y'all so much for being here, y'all. I hope y'all are having a great day. So as you come into the building, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. That definitely helps the channel out. So make sure you are thumbsing up the live stream as you come into the building. All right. So we know what's going on, Timothy. How are you? Good afternoon. So we're gonna get into it, you guys. I'm not gonna waste any time. There's this whole thing going on with single women. I call them bitter women who are typically single, who, have the audacity to go around calling women who have already been pick-me's. And y'all know it to be the case because they've called a lot of married women who've already been picked, they're calling them pick-me's. And I think that's just another way for them to try to, the same way they shame men, the way they try to shame men who are productive, men who are confident, men who are not going to put up with their BS. The same way they try to shame men, they do it to women. They do it to women as well. You see a woman that has a man, she's married, she seems happy. She's not triggered, she's not angry, she's not bitter, she's not mad. She seems to be enjoying herself and having a good time. These women can't stand that. So, and on top of that, a woman who has a good man and supports men, or supports the right thing, shall I say? Because see, anytime you speak up in favor of men, these types of ratchet women have a problem. And it's not just the idea of defending men. It's just what's about right. What's right? That's how I look at it. What's the right thing? How you should be treating a person in general. The same treatment you want from somebody, you should be willing to give it. And that's the one-sidedness of the sisterhood that I don't like, that I'm not here for, because I just think women only have a problem when you go against their ratchet nature, when you go against the stuff that they know is not right and everybody else knows it's not right. You see what I'm saying? So as long as you're a part of it, as long as you're with the OK Corral, the what y'all call it, the whatever they call it, as long as you're on their side and as long as you're going with the the majority of what they think and what they feel, even if it's not right, they don't like it. So now you hate women, you bashing women, but women do the same thing to other women. So, the same women who like to say, who don't want to be accountable and want you to just defend them no matter what they do, are the same ones who hate to see happy, thriving women with good men and women who are married. Let's just be honest. So that brings me to this clip that I'm gonna share with you guys, because I just think it's really ridiculous. And I was shocked too. I'm like, the first time I was called a pick me, I was like, oh, okay. So baby, don't you know is something wrong? Are you okay? Because I'm like, I'm already picked. But I think it's meant to slander. It's meant to disrespect what you have going on because they don't have it. Misery loves company. So, and it's not my fault that you crave a man. you want a man, but you are not what men are looking for. If you don't have the qualities that these men are looking for, that's not my fault. If that you can't get a man to commit to you and want to be with just you, that's not my fault. So when they can't get that, the only thing they know how to do is start shaming women by calling married women pick-me's, when it doesn't make any sense. Like I said, a lot of things that a lot of these different women say doesn't make any sense, but they're just saying it as a shaming tactic, or a tactic to try to make you feel, I guess, I don't know what they're trying to make you feel, because it, first off, you shouldn't feel any kind of way, because being called a pick me, it doesn't make sense if you've been picked, and so it's just something to make them feel good about themselves. I had a lady, child, sent me a message saying something about, oh, well, you're a pick me. And what did she say? She says, I wish I had it to show you guys. When I have those comments, I'm going to start saving them, and I'm going to blast their ass. I'm going to block their name, and I'm going to put it up there to show, to showcase it and how stupid they sound. So yeah, they'll put, say, oh, well, you shouldn't be, I don't know, talking about women and yada, yada, yada. And you're a pick me, and you don't know if your husband is going to leave you. And I'm like, it's the same thing over and over and over. And I say, oh my God, these particular women have really been scorned. They have really been scorned. Somebody really messed them up bad, because they really, really think that men are just out here trying to get them. They have been scorned so badly that they don't have no trust for men. They want to, but they have no trust for men. And they're so angry and bitter that they don't have, a husband or a man who really loves them and really wants to be with them. And I'm just like, oh my God, I kind of feel bad for them in a way. So that's why I don't take it seriously, because I know that these women are scorned. They're hurt. They're bitter and miserable because somebody either did them dirty and they have never recovered from that. And they think that every man is like that. So it's like a hurt to their egos. And it's a sore subject when they see, or a sore something issue when they see women who are claiming to have good men and who are married and have families and have their person. They can't stand it, because in their mind, all men are just dusty and dirty like that one man did them. So they can't see anything past that. And when they see women who are in healthy relationships, they don't know what to do with themselves. So I get it. Successful MD says, I smell a big pot of jealousy from the bonnet army. It is Successful MD. Thank you for the super chat. It's like, you're not hurting. Well, not hurting my feelings, because I know it comes from a hurt place. I know it hurt people. So it comes from a hurt place. It comes from somebody who may have done you dirty. Because listen, and the thing about it is, when I'm speaking, I'm not saying that there aren't horrible men. We all know that. I think there are men out here who don't know how to be in relationships, who walked over good women, who've done horrible things to women, of course. But if we're going to accept that, we got to accept it on the other side, that a lot of these women aren't all perfect. And that is the problem. See, men aren't going around here thinking like, pretending, well, from what I see, I don't see all men out here complaining and saying, all women are just dusties and all women are, I don't see men saying that. It's the women who are out here creating this narrative and these terms like pick me. That wasn't a man didn't create pick me. A black woman went out and started calling married women pick me's because they was mad that women had an opinion and women were speaking out on their relationships and their marriages, their families, and how they got there, where they are, and talking about the nature of a lot of these women. And so they just got mad and they created that term to try to, shame these particular women because you jealous and you bitter because you can't have it. The thing is to hate what you can't have. And even if somebody who is married is trying to tell you or give you a little bit of advice, it's not about tell you or try to just give you a little bit of, we all can learn something. We all can stand to learn something. There's not anything wrong with learning something from somebody else. And so they don't want to take any tips or they don't want to hear anything because you want to keep going with your narrative, thinking that you're the best thing since sliced bread, but you're not getting best thing since sliced bread outcomes. You're not getting a bunch of men who want to commit to you and be with you and make you his wife and build a life with you. You're not getting that. So if you're not getting what you want, once again, bashing men Bashing women, calling women pick me's and all of that is still not going to get you the outcome that you want. And if you're not willing to listen to make any changes, you're going to still be stuck in that bitter, angry place by yourself, just thinking that all men are just horrible and you're better off by yourself, even though that's not what you really want. So, you got to figure out what it is that you need to do to get the outcome that you want. Just like you want a certain job, just like you want a certain anything that you want in life, you have to put the proper measures in place. You have to take the proper steps in order to fulfill your goals. You have to do what is necessary for you to get to where you want to be. If you don't do it, then you don't get there. Same thing with relationships and anything you want in life. You have to take certain measures to get what you want. You can't sit back and think that you can just do the bare minimum and the man's supposed to do the most and then you're still unsatisfied, but you think that that's what he's supposed to continue to do. And then when the relationship falls apart, you're bitter and angry. You're much more bitter and angry. Now you're even more bitter. Now you're really mad and you just think the world is horrible and every man in it is horrible too because he don't want to bow down to you and you don't want to put in the necessary work to work with him. So that's the thing about it and how I see it. And I think that, there's something that a lot of women can learn from this. I think that they need to learn, that, shaming people is not going to give you your outcome, baby. Yeah, it's just Queen of Vibe says, "Yo, Miss D, I just got done watching your video of the mentally deranged chick on that dude's podcast. Oh yeah, that's a whole nother story. Crazy as hell. What's going on, Queen of Vibes? Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, I mean, Blue Exodus, DeeDee is done arrested. Oh, child, I heard about that. Lord, I wanted to bring up that whole situation with DeeDee real quick. DeeDee got arrested, child. Oh my God. And then what do y'all think about the second attempted, on President Trump? What do y'all think about that? I don't know if we could say the word or not. YouTube is tripping y'all, but y'all know what I'm talking about. The attempted on Trump the second time. Like, what is going on? People are still saying that's probably a hoax. I hear a lot back and forth, but that's crazy. That's crazy. A lot is going on in this world, y'all. A lot is going on, child. Successful MD says hoax. Baby, it's a lot going on, y'all. A lot going on. I'm just saying, that's all I'm gonna say about that, because that let's see. Cam hire Fanny and she's hiring the hits, child. It's a mess. It's done to make him look like a victim. Child, anyway, we not gonna get into that. I hear what y'all saying about it, but it's just crazy. DeeDee out on $50 million bail. Jesus Christ. Lord. But anyway, back to the subject. So I want to get to this clip real quick because I thought this was interesting, and we're gonna chime in on this. Here we go.
About being a Christian and a wife and a stay-at-home mom, people always love to comment, "Oh, you're such a pick-me." But then I noticed other girls who also get comments saying I'm a pick-me. I've noticed one thing we have in common: we've all already been picked. Like, almost all the girls that get those comments have families, like they're married and have kids and stuff. So
right,
how are we pick-me's when we've already been chosen?
Right.
You're like, you're doing it for male attention. I'm married. My husband has already picked me. Like, he loves me and I've been chose. So who am I trying to be chosen by? Like, it's not understanding. It's the girls that haven't been picked calling the rest of us pick-me's. We've been picked. Or they'd be like,
but see, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier. This is because they want you to feel a certain kind of way about being picked. It's to try to take your happiness away from you. These ratchet hyenas are a mess. It's like, oh, you're happy, you're talking about your family, you're talking about your husband, and you're speaking good things about your husband, because you're not supposed to say that, y'all. You're supposed to have a husband that's cheating on you. You're supposed to have a husband that's just the most horrible man ever. You're supposed to be coming on here like that Reese Tisa lady. Who the F did I marry? You're supposed to be like her. You're supposed to come on and say, oh, these men are just horrible. Let me tell you why. And I got a husband, but I'm really a single mother. You're supposed to come on and bash your husband and talk about how horrible he is and how horrible it is for you at home with your kids. You're supposed to be saying all of the negative things about marriage to make these single hyenas feel good. That's what they want you to do. But when you don't hear that and you're saying, hey, I got a good husband. Look, we working together. We got our children. We're raising our children together. Oh, he loves his children. He loves me. I love him. We're working together. We're building together. Oh, you don't want to hear that. That's too good. All people want to hear is negativity. So it can make you feel like your life is much better because you're not happy there. But if you can hear that all women in marriages are miserable and the men are just the bottom of the barrel and he got her locked in a basement, just controlling her and she's a slave inside her house and she can't do anything and it's just so boring. All he wanted to do is cook and clean and take care of kids while he go out and have fun and work and be around people. That's what they want to hear. They want to hear you're like a slave in the dungeon, that you don't get no free time, that that you're bogged down with household work and kids. That's what they like to hear. And then a lot of the women some of the women who come on social media and complain about what they want, complain. Cause see, a lot of women who might be in a position to be a stay-at-home wife or whatever, that's something that they wanted. But once they got it, they weren't happy with it. They didn't want it. And so some women would prefer to be at work and working outside the home as opposed to inside the home. But this is what you hear a lot of women talk about and complain about. You hear women complain about having to work and having to do it by themselves and being lonely. But on the flip side, when you see women who actually have the lifestyle that you say you want, you're calling them pick-me's and you calling them slaves and all these types of things because you wish you had their life, but you can't. And you don't know how to get it. So instead of you saying good things about them, you rather try to belittle them because you mad because you ain't got it, child. Because if this is the very thing women are complaining about, having to work, doing it by themselves. They're tired of doing it by themselves. So you want support and you want somebody in your life to help you. But when you see happy women doing it, you have a problem with that. But once again, when you see the women complaining to me, I'm like a single mother and married. Oh, you gravitate to that. Oh, you want to see that. You want to see them complaining, not realizing they might have had a moment where they were lashing out. And, everybody go to social media but they're not showing you the good times. They're not showing you when things are good and they're having a good time. And they're not going to show you that because that's not salacious. Showing people good stuff, nobody want to see that because they just get mad because they don't have it. But showing people all the negative things that go on in your relationship and just complaining and crying, oh, they're here for that. Those videos get lots of views because people love negativity and they love to be able to relate to something. They can't relate to a good man because all you've had was Pookie and Ray Ray and that's all you used to. So you don't even understand that there are good men out here because you've never been, you haven't been accustomed to it because they're not attracted to you for whatever reason. So don't act like they don't exist and don't try to bash people who have good men because maybe you just don't qualify. And if you want to qualify a child, figure out what the good men want. Y'all don't want to do that because you're too entitled. You think the man owes you something before he even get to know you. Let's continue.
Like, did he pick you yet? Yeah, he actually did. Like, am I understanding the phrase wrong? Maybe I am, let me know, but I just never understood that because I'm like, all the girls are saying you're a pick me, like, they've been picked. Right, baby? It's actually wild to think that me cooking dinner for my husband means that I'm not free and that I'm like being held hostage by my own husband is so crazy. It's literally my dream. I'm living in a dream because I wanted more than anything to be a stay-at-home mom. That's literally what I wanted ever since I became a Christian. and I no longer desired to be a career woman, a boss babe, all those things that I was doing. I had no desire for that. And I'm so blessed that I married a man who's willing to work 2 jobs in order for me to live my dream of being a stay-at-home mom and raising my own baby instead of giving him to daycare or giving him to government programs. That's my nightmare. And did it ever come across anyone's mind that I actually love to cook and I love cleaning? Like, I clean things that he doesn't even care about. Like, I clean for myself.
Well, no, that does not come across their minds, because in their minds, cooking and cleaning and raising your kids is slavery. So it doesn't occur to them that some women love to cook. Some women love to clean their houses and make their houses nice. Some women love to, do things around the house. And some women love to have their kids at home and, didn't want their kids going to daycare and things of that nature. That they would prefer to be at home and raise their own children where they know that they're safe and they know that they're the ones who are taking care of them. Some women love that idea as opposed to the other way. And like she said, she did the work thing and all of that, and that made her feel more like a slave. She didn't want to do that, so she realized what was most important. She wanted to be at home with her kid and raise her child and take care of her household. These women are so entrenched into this so-called modern lifestyle that is running them crazy, that they are losing their goddamn minds. They really just so into even though they're lonely and they're miserable, they still out here caping for that type of lifestyle. And once again, I will say this: if that's your choice, if it's your choice to be a single mother and be by yourself, kudos to you if that's what you want. But don't try to bash other women or discredit other women's choices, because if a woman chooses to be a stay-at-home wife and she has a man who allows her to do that, and she wants to cook and clean and take care of her family and be at home, don't belittle her because of her choices. Y'all want to be praised like this single motherhood is so great, and y'all steadily complaining about it. But then when you see women who have what they chose, you try to belittle them as well and make them feel like what they're doing is, oh my God, you shouldn't be doing that. Listen, I literally had that happen to me in real life. Where I was told, you need to be working. That why you want to be a stay-at-home wife, essentially. Like you're not taking care of yourself, and tried to make me feel like being at home, taking care of my kids and being a stay-at-home wife was something was wrong with it. I was literally tried to make me believe that being a stay-at-home wife was something wrong with it, because I worked at a point, and when I used to work before I got married, that was hell. Like, I'm just saying, like, working people, look, to be honest with you, yes, as an adult you have to work, but going to work is not, it wasn't the greatest thing. Not in my opinion. It was rough. Like, you got to get up every morning early. I had to get up early. At the time, I did not have a car. This was years ago. I was young. I didn't have a car, so I'm catching the bus early in the 5 in the morning, 6 in the, got to be to work for 6:30 a.m. I was a hostess at a restaurant. It's like, I got to get up early. I got to catch the bus, 2 buses, get to work, stand on my feet all day, do that job. It wasn't paying much money. And, it's like, I got tired of doing that. So I didn't really want to do that, so it's like, okay. And I knew, I'm like, okay, I didn't know. I knew that was tiresome. I knew that. And so to go from that to be in a situation where I could stay at home with my kids and while my husband went to work, it was a blessing. Now, I will be honest with you guys. Now, there were moments where I was like, oh, okay, I kind of missed the camaraderie with people, like you're talking to adults, because when you're at home with kids, it's just the kids. And so I kind of missed that a little bit, but I got over it. But I wouldn't dare try to bash somebody for their life choices and stuff. It was such a relief to not have to worry about getting up, going to work, and worrying about paying a bill and things like that. I could just be at home and be there with the kids, make sure they're good, because that was my main focus, focusing on the kids and being there to take care of them, because I didn't trust daycares either. I didn't trust daycares. Every time you look, somebody's kid is getting hurt in the daycare. And I'm not knocking it because there's some good daycares out there, but it's just, I didn't feel comfortable with that. So I was grateful that I was able to be at home and I can look after my own kids because I know I'm not going to hurt them and I'm going to make sure that they're good. And cleaning a house, you don't want to clean house? I don't understand why cooking and cleaning is one of those things that people look at and frown upon like it's, oh my God, you're a slave because you got to cook. You got to cook for your family. What's wrong with that? You know, would you want to starve or you want to go out every day? You want to go out to restaurants and feed your family restaurant food all day, 24/7. That's not healthy. Like, come on. It's like, I don't understand it. It's just, I think a lot of these women just really want some type of delusional, unrealistic world. And it doesn't exist. Sasha says, I'm a married stay-at-home mom of 3 and I'm happy, but other people want to tell me I'm not happy with my life. It's crazy. Been there, done that, Sasha. It is crazy. They will try to tell you or belittle you and make you feel like, oh, you're not taking care of yourself. Like, that's okay. So I have a husband who's taking care of me. What's wrong with that? They'll twist it and try to make you think that something's wrong with that. And this is why I understand these women who call women pick-me's, because you just trying to make that person feel sad about their choices in their life, knowing good and well if you could switch places with them, you'll jump in a heartbeat and do it. And you will be quiet and grateful to it because you know you may not even get that opportunity. So they try to make you, belittle you and make you feel bad about your life when they know they want your life. This is why I don't trust the sisterhood at all. CSX 4402 says drama centric is what they after to get those views. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Successful MD says, who cooks and cleans while they are single? Who cooks and cleans while they are single? So as a single person, they don't cook and they don't clean. So that means you're starving and you got a nasty house. Thank you for the super chat, Successful MD. So as a single person, you don't cook for yourself, or, you know, they don't cook for themselves. They don't clean, you know, so you got a nasty house and check. And then you're starving, check. That's why they want to go out all them goddamn high ass dates, because y'all hungry as hell. You want the man to feed you every day. So you got all these men listed in your phone as food, breakfast, lunch, dinner, because you ain't got no food and you don't know how to cook. Child, maybe that's why. It's just a hot mess. Let's continue this video.
What's also ironic is I actually used to be a slave to sin and a slave to this world, until I was saved by grace through faith in Jesus Christ. He died on the cross so that I don't have to pay for my own sins. He took them upon himself. He lived a perfect life. He died for our sins and rose again 3 days later, defeating death and sin, and whoever believes in him shall have eternal life. And so I used to be a slave, but now I'm free in Christ, and you can too. So if anyone's a slave, it's not me.
Well, look. Listen, I would tell any woman who is a stay-at-home mom and raising your kids, and you're taking care of your household and making sure your family is good, kudos to you. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you created a family, you're supposed to take care of them. And, you know, if the roles in everybody's roles and, you know, the way their household runs is different. Everybody's marriage is different. Everybody don't have the same value system or the way they run their household. Everybody run their household different. But if you are a stay-at-home mom and you're raising your kids, you're taking care of your husband and your family and your household, shout out to you. There's nothing wrong with that. And for the men who out here who are able to provide that type of lifestyle for your wives and your family, shout out to you as well. You have a wife. Because see, that it's hard for these men to come by these days. Wifey material. A lot of these women aren't wives, but they want the wife treatment. They want to be treated like princesses and queens and all of these things, but they don't match up. So you want this treatment, and then you just bitter and mad because you can't get it. And then when you see women who have the lifestyle you would kill for, you pissed at them. But you don't. But at the same time, you're entitled. You're stubborn. You don't want to do what's necessary to get that type of man. You think that you can be who you are, the way you are, with the attitude that you have, and he's just supposed to fall head over heels in love with you just the way you are, and for you to just push back on him all the time, for you to, just fight him and everything that he's trying to do, because you don't know how to be in a healthy relationship. You're used to toxicity. You're used to, toxic, toxic men and toxic relationships. So you wouldn't even know what to do in a good relationship. Even if a man was providing all of that for you, you wouldn't even know how to relax and enjoy it. You wouldn't even know what to do. You'll still be trying to run back to the streets because that's what you're used to. So I just think that these types of women really need to take a really hard look at yourselves. Take a hard look at yourselves and figure out what it is that you really want in life. Do you really want to be a stay-at-home wife? Because from what I'm hearing, a lot of these women just want somebody to take care of them. You don't really want to cook, clean. You don't really want to do none of that. You don't really want to be at home with your child on a consistent basis. You want to send them children off to somewhere else so you can be outside. So find out what it is that you really want and focus on that, and stop trying to belittle men and married women who are happy with the lives that they have and living their lives, and focus on yourself and figure out first what you want and if you are in a position to get that. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Hit the like button, you guys. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Let's move on. I'll have another clip for you guys. Check this out.
After 10 months, I talked about how we got married. I sold my house, moved into his house. He bought me a Mercedes. I lived the kept life lifestyle, and women were coming for me. And it blew my mind because I thought I was inspiring and helping women see, hey, this is possible. This is a thing. They didn't know I was a life coach. They didn't know I was a life coach. They just saw a Black woman bragging and trying to tell me, well, you need to make sure your name's on it. Oh, I would have never did that because you just never know what can happen. Like, I get it. We get it. Life happens. Things happen. But if you say you want to learn how to put yourself in a position to live a certain type of life, you do have to take risks. You also have to listen, and not listen to respond, but listen so that you can be helped.
No lies detected. I agree with what she's saying, and that's exactly the problem. I think that, as much as women complain, and this is why I say sometimes they want to just complain. You feel comfortable complaining without actually having to do something. When it comes to putting in the work that's necessary for you to get what you want, that's where you hear crickets. That's where you have pushback. That's where, they're alleging that, oh, all of this is supposed to be put on the man, that the men are supposed to do all of these things. Men are protectors, men are the providers, but you're supposed to be a helpmate. So if you're supposed, you have a part to play as well. You can't just put everything on the man and you have no responsibility whatsoever. That's just not how that's going to work. And I think that's where a lot of women are. Somewhere, somehow in a matrix, somebody has made them believe that they don't have to do anything, and a lot of them feel that because they had to get a job and take care of themselves, be adults, that because that time that they had to put in the work and take care of themselves, now that a man owes them the world, that now a man must come in with all these unrealistic expectations in trying to get them and maintain them. So you have to come in, provide her a lifestyle she's not able to provide for herself or maintain. And you have to come in with all this extra stuff to please this woman because she feels like she doesn't have to do anything. I just don't know where they do that at. Like you gotta understand the relationship means two. If a man is gonna come in and do everything, what does he need you for? If he has enough money, if he want to go and get some loving, he could get that. He don't have to commit to you and have you in his life if you don't want to bring anything to the table. If you don't want to bring anything, why does he need you? He don't need you. He could just go and get the loving when he wanted and continue to enjoy his life with what he already has, because he's the prize, because he's bringing everything to the table and you're trying to get on his program. But you got to understand, you still need to bring something. You can't just sit back and think, oh, I don't have to do anything. I'm just a princess and I'm the prize and he just do everything for me. You think that's going to last? and I see videos of men who allegedly have money. Well, this one particular video of this man, I don't know his name, but they're saying they're saying this man is a crook, or he got a pass. I don't know his name, but I've seen him do videos. He's like a short dude, and he be talking about catering to his woman and stuff, and he has a wife, and they're saying he be beating the shit out the lady. I don't know if this is the truth or not. I don't know their names, but this one guy on social media, I thought he was pandering to women, but he has a wife, and they have a beautiful home, and he showed videos of the woman getting her feet done and things like that, sitting back, and they have babies, and then they showed his police record where they were saying he be knocking somebody's head in between the washer and dryer. I don't know. I'm just saying that's what I'm hearing. Is saying he's not what he's all cracked up to be. That he got a past of abuse. Now I don't know if that's the truth. I don't know the man's name, but I see this circulating on social media, and they're saying on one hand saying he's a fraud and things like that. But I don't know but once again, you don't know what's the truth or what's not, because a lot of women, when they see women who actually have the life that they want, we know they hate on it. So I don't know what the man's past is or whatever, but we know for a fact that women hate on other women. When you see other women who have what you don't think you will ever get, you hate on them. That's just what it is. You get mad, you call them pick-me's, you try to belittle their lifestyles and make it seem like it's not what it is, because you'll never have it. So we do see that, child. But it's just a hot mess, though. And then once again, like I said, a lot of these women are confused. I think a lot of women contradict themselves. You say you want one thing, but then you do something else that contradicts what you say you want. You don't want to do what's necessary to get what you say you want. So do you really want it? Or are you just saying that just to sound good? But you really know you just want to be a 304 on the streets. You happy with what you're doing, but you don't want to tell people that. I don't know, because it just seems like a major contradiction of women just talking, wanting to have something to say, want to sound like you're smart, want to sound like you're important and you got something real important to talk about, and it don't really be hitting on nothing. You just talking. It ain't making sense. You just talking, Like women are saying, oh, they want a husband, but you go to their social media pages, child, and they dress like 304s. How you want a husband dressing like a hooker? Like that, the two don't go together. Like most men. Now, anything is possible. Y'all hear me say that all the time. Anything is possible, child. You might get a man and might be happy to be with a hooker and marry her, child, but we know that's not the majority. But you might find one or two be like, yeah, I'm gonna marry this hooker. It'll never work out. They always breaking up, but hey, maybe he'll do it. But it's not likely. But what I'm saying is, for the most part, you want a husband. I want to get married, and go to your Instagram page. You look straight up like a hooker. You half dressed, ass out, all these things going on. But you want a respectable man who's the only one to want you. That man not gonna look at you as no respectable woman. He gonna look at you like you a 304, like you for the streets. Most men don't want their woman or their wife out here looking like hoes. Most men don't want that. They don't want you. Why would a look, there are some men, like I said, there are some men who are okay with their women walking around out looking like hoes. Some of them are okay with that. That I get it. But the majority of men do not want that. That's not what they look at and say, oh, I want to, oh, she got her ass hanging all out. Oh, she got one titty out and she got this out. Ooh, I want to make her my wife. I don't think that's what most men are saying. I don't think most men are saying that. You looking at that like, oh, wow, I'll tear that up, but I ain't taking her home to meet my mama. Let me know if I'm wrong, because I could be wrong. I'm okay with being wrong. I'm okay with being wrong. Let me know, am I wrong? Am I right? Is that what y'all looking at a woman dressed like a 304 and saying, ooh, I'm gonna make her my wife? Are you looking at that as wifey material? Or are you saying, nah, I bang the hell out of her and that's about it? What? Are y'all going to look at the strippers and the hoes and say, oh, come on, I'm just gonna make her my wife? Ooh, yeah, we'll bring her home to my mama. Yeah. Are y'all doing that? Probably not. So, I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, come on. Most men looking at that like they'll smash. Of course. Ooh, she might be fine. Because men say that, ooh, she fine. She fine. Yeah, because you want to smash. That's it. But you after that, y'all repulsed. You're repulsed by it until next time. And then when it's time again, you're hitting up again. What you doing? Because you want to smash. And then you're repulsed until next time. Y'all keep going back if she lets you. And that's it. But y'all ain't taking her home to your mama and say, Mama, this is going to be my wife. Your mama going, because if I was the mama, I'm going to be looking like, what, who, what, when, where that came from. Are you serious about that? Child. Because I'm gonna be like I'm gonna call it like I see it. Okay, if if it look like a duck, it's a duck. If it look like a hoe, it's a hoe. I'm just saying. That's how I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna call it like I see it. I ain't sugarcoating nothing. But I'm gonna be like, all right, if that's what you want, but you better be cautious. You better be cautious. Cause I mean, hell. It's just most men ain't doing that. If that was the case, all these women out here looking like that would already have husbands. They would have husbands already, but they don't. Successful MD says you can't reverse smashed potatoes. You're a mess, right? Oh Lord, Lord have mercy, a mess, child. Right, you can't. Well, that's what they want you to do, throw away the whole phase, oh, I could just erase it, so all them CCs you've been riding for 20 years, oh, now when you get 30, 40, they all gone. I just erased them because I said I erased them, so they're gone. Like, come on now, it don't work like that, but in their minds it worked like that, because women could tell themselves anything they feel or believe. Anything, any way they feel, anything they believe, it is so. And y'all got to follow it and listen to it. It's just a hot mess. It really is. It really is. It's just like, come on, you can convince yourself of anything. It doesn't make it true. Just because you believe it don't mean that it's true. And just because you see it a certain way don't mean that everybody else sees it that way as well. That's where the delusion comes in at. The way you see yourself, the way you think you are, you think that everybody else is supposed to see you that way. And when they don't, something's wrong with them, as opposed to you being mentally challenged or in a delusional state. Come on now. They gotta stop with that. Nothing's going to change. It's going to get worse as long as women are delusional and feeling and believing what they want. That's an issue. As long as they're in this delusional state, it's going to be a problem. And it's going to be a major problem for them. Because keep in mind, they're the ones who are complaining. That's all you hear. You don't hear a whole bunch of men on social media complaining about women and complaining, I'm just alone and I just want me a woman. I just feel so, I'm tired of working. You don't hear men complaining about that because men know they have to work. They know they don't have room to complain. They're not on social media saying that. All you see is women complaining. I'm so tired of working. I'm tired. Who told us we need to be independent women? Who the hell said this? I'm tired of working. I need help. This is killing me. I'm working 2 and 3 jobs to try to maintain. That's who's complaining. Who's calling women pick-me's? Women. Women calling other women pick-me's. Women complaining about working. Women complaining about single and lonely. Women complaining about the men. Men are sad. Women are complaining about men not wanting to be with single mothers. Women are complaining all over the place. So y'all are the ones complaining. So why don't you figure out what the hell you need to do? Hell, because I don't see the men complaining about working or none of that. They go to work, do what they got to do, whether it's hard or not. They're not on social media complaining. They're not saying all the women are just scandalous because they don't want to do this and do what we want to do. No, they listen to what y'all saying and they're moving and living their lives while women are constantly every single day on these apps. That's all you see. This is why we have all this content. We have content for days because that's them complaining. We wouldn't have, if they would stop complaining, we wouldn't have any clips to show you. We wouldn't have nothing to share. We could talk. I could speak on it, but there would be no clips, which I'm starting to go in that route anyway, y'all. So be prepared. I'm going to start just talking and not using as much clips because copyrights are getting real. They really like putting these copyrights on us left and right. So just keep in mind, like I'm gonna start like just going talking about topics without using the clips, because it'll be better and safer for the channel, because they starting to trip with all these copyright complaints and stuff, y'all. So just be aware of that. But yeah, it's just a mess. It's you're complaining, but then when you have people who try to give you some solutions or give you tips or advice, you don't want to take it, because you want to be able to constantly complain without actually doing something to get a different result. And I think that's insane to me, because if you want to make a change, you got to do something. You can't just sit. You gotta start with the man in the mirror, right? To make that change, you got to make the change. You got to look at yourself, starting with the man in the mirror. So you got to start with you. Look at you. See what you need to do to make a difference that will give you the outcome you want. You can't constantly put it off on somebody else. That's never going to work. That's never going to work. Let me play this next clip for y'all. Oh, hold on. Which this is an old clip. Check this out.
Use black women to keep the black male in his place, and you're still aiding them by saying, "Well, we'll."
Wait, now it says black women are being used to keep black men in their place. Now this sounds like this is probably from the 70s, but let me rewind it back. Black women are being used to keep black men in their place. Sound familiar? Here we go.
America has used black women to keep the black male in his place, and you're still aiding them by saying, "Well, we are qualified, we want to work, we can help."
Okay, how are you going to reprogram men so that they don't let us take over what's supposed to be their responsibility?
I don't think that you have to reprogram men. I think you have to reprogram women.
No, you have to reprogram the man so that he will forcefully take what belongs to him, because women, as long as we can get, we're gonna get, and it's part of our being. We're going to do anything to you that you let us, whether we want to or not.
Wow. And that sounds like, that looks like that's probably from the 70s. Wow. And this says a lot. Like this modern thinking is not new. The way a lot of women think today is really not new. This is something Shahrazad Ali been talking about this for years and still talking about it. And she's mentioned this a lot, but basically the women then, they were talking about women wanting to work. So that's fine. We talk about the feminist movement and how women fought to work and be equal to men, right? So you wanted that opportunity to go out and work and take care of yourself. Fast forward, here we are, 2024. Women have the rights to go make money. You can go make how much money you want. Take care of yourself. Do you. That's what you fought for. That's what you have. But what do we see? We still see the same women complaining, bashing men, telling men they're dusties and they're at the bottom of the barrel. Why would you even care about men if you're a men doing anything for you if you're able to do it for yourself? Why are women still complaining in modern society, 2024, complaining about men who don't have any money, men who don't want to do this for women, men who don't want to do that? Why are you complaining when you can do it yourself? I don't understand it for the life of me. Nobody is stopping you from wanting to start a business, get a job, do whatever it is that you want to do. But now they're still looking over and saying, well, we want men to be traditional men. We still, even though we can make our own money, we still want a man to come in as a traditional man, to come in and pay all our bills, take care of us, because men are providers. No, we're in modern society. They act like they have amnesia. Did you forget? No, women can make money. And as these boss chicks like to talk and say, oh, they can make 6 figures and they make more money than the men. Well, that's great. I don't see anything wrong with it. If you can make the money, go make the money. Just stop asking men to come in and take you on and treat you like you are a traditional woman when we're in modern society. Women have bank accounts. You can work. You can make your own money. Now just take care of yourself. You want it to be equal to a man, so go ahead and do it. And so even then that was a conversation they were having where women were saying they want to work then and they want to, do something and why they need to force the men into doing certain things. It didn't work then and it's not going to work now. Women fought for the opportunities that they have to be equal to a man, to work and take care of themselves. Now you got it. So what's the problem now? See, it's always a problem. It's always going to be a problem because you just complaining about everything that you can without taking any responsibility for your actions. You can work, take care of yourself, live your best life, travel. I hear a lot of women all the time, and I know a lot of women who are single and make good money now, and they living their best lives. But those women, they're not on social media complaining. They living their best lives. They're not worried about a woman who got a husband and living her life as a stay-at-home wife. They don't care about that because that's not what they wanted. I think it's the women who claim to be these independent boss chicks and don't care about all of that, but you're steadily complaining about a man doing this because you don't know what you want. You got what you said you wanted, but you're really not happy with it. Now you want something else. So now you've gotten a degree, you got your house, you got all this, and you're still not content. You're still not content. You still want a man, but you want a man who's going to come in and follow your lead. I say it all the time. These women are confused. These particular women, they're confused. You worked hard and you accomplished that lifestyle for yourself. Now you want a man to come in and take it on and take it over and pay for it and give you a soft girl life. But you worked hard to have that independent life. You can't have it both ways. You can't work hard, establish yourself as a woman equal to a man and have this independent boss chick life where you can do and control your life how you want it to be, and then turn around and want a man, but you want a man on your terms. You want a man the way you want him. And that's not how that works out, because the man that you want is not going to go for that type of lifestyle. He's just not. He's not. And you can't, force him or boss him around and make him fall under your wings, but also still want him to pay for everything. Come on. Most men don't want to come into your life, and take on what you've created, because that might not be the life that they want. They might not want an extravagant life. They may not want what you chose. They want a life that they choose for them, their wives, and their children. That's how it's supposed to go. The order of things is out of order. Women are the new men because they can get jobs and make money, and they can make some of them a lot of money. They want full control. They want a man to follow their lead. They don't want to follow the man's lead. And that is the problem, because that is out of order. And most men, the nature of a man, most men, it will not allow for a man to do that. Men wouldn't be comfortable with that type of lifestyle. That's why it's harder, I would say. And once again, I'll say, listen, anything is possible. There are some situations where it's working out, and it's not typical, but it's not the majority. But there are some, situations where it may be working out with these people, but that is not the majority. The majority of men want to create their own households, their own standards, their own families, they want to, create their own livelihood and have their wife and their children in it. And I think that's the disconnect with a lot of women, in particular, a lot of educated women who already have children, who already have their lives established, who already have everything that they want. They're just missing a man, not understanding that most men don't want to come into a ready-made situation. They just don't. And there's nothing you can do about it. A man who will be willing to do that is probably the man that you don't want. A man who doesn't have much going for himself, who's comfortable with coming in and laying up off of what you've already created. This is what women complain about. They complain about men who don't have a job, who don't have a car, who don't have the basic necessities, who just want to come in and use them. I hear nurses talking about this. A lot of nurses are talking about men want to date them, but usually the men don't have cars. They're bums, essentially. And come in and don't have nothing, but they know you're a nurse, so they want to come and live with you and all this kind of stuff. No, any self-respecting man who has his stuff together is not going to want to come under a woman's roof and live with her and follow her lead. That's just not going to happen. And that's the very thing that a lot of these women are complaining about. They're complaining about the men who just trying to take advantage of them. But that's not the man that you really want. See? Yeah, most men don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. And so I think for a lot of women who are educated, a lot of women who have these degrees and they're up high up here, they don't want to date down. They don't want to settle, as they put it, because of that very thing. They think that, they just can't respect a man who makes less money or whatever. Even if he's a good guy, even if he's a loving dude, he really cares about, if he makes less money, they say they'll disrespect him. So that's a problem. Is that a problem with the men, or that's a problem with the women? But, once again, like I say, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and it's not all on the men. A lot of these women need to reevaluate the way they think and how they see relationships. You know what I'm saying? So, because it's not, it's just, it is out of order. It really is. And that's why it's not working. And when I say out of order, it doesn't mean, it just means the mentality, the way women think and the way they've been conditioned to think. Because women think, I work, I taking care of myself. Because I saw this video of this woman, I forgot to pull it up, where she was like, this is this apartment. She was naming off the things in her apartment. She was like, I pay for this, I pay for that, I pay for this. All this is me. But, people men are in the comments saying, well, listen, same for them. If you're an adult, you're supposed to take care of yourself. Do you think that automatically when you come out of your mother's womb and you leave your mama's house, you're supposed to a man's supposed to pop up and say, I'm here to take care of you? What do y'all think? As adults, you have to take care of yourself. And I think they're looking at it as, oh, I had to take care of myself. So now when I get a man, maybe you got to give me the world. It don't work like that. And if it did, you still would have to be the type of woman that man wants. He still will be looking for certain things from you. And the things that men are looking for, a lot of these women don't want to provide. See? Because they're boss chicks. They're used to taking care of themselves. They become entitled. They become selfish. They become independent. They don't need a man, but they want one. And that type of mindset is not conducive to healthy, stable relationships. And when you see healthy, stable relationships, which you weren't privy to growing up, you look at it like, oh my God, they can't be happy. Something got to be wrong. I bet he's cheating. I bet he this. I bet he's abusing her. I bet he's doing that. You just think of all the worst things you can think of. And a lot of times those people are living their best lives. They did it the right way. And which I don't even want to say the right way, but they did it a different way. And they're working together because that's the only way it's going to work. It's not going to work being selfish, entitled, and demanding without putting anything into the relationship. And you got to understand, though, as women, you are not entitled to a man's money. You're not entitled to anything that anybody else has. You're only entitled to what you can provide for yourself. We got to start understanding that. A man that might want to date you does not owe you shit. He don't owe you a goddamn thing. He's just trying to get to know you to see if he can establish something with you. And if he does, y'all work on it, you grow together, and eventually all that stuff will come. But just to think that you're so entitled and selfish that a man should come right off the rip and he owes you something, hell to the no. Men don't owe y'all a goddamn thing. And I wish more women would start speaking on this and letting these women know that, no, look, you go into this situation with the open mind of meeting a nice guy who you can possibly have a relationship with if that's what you want. A lot of reasons why these women fail is because they're not going into the situation with the right attitude. You're so convinced that you're the prize and these men owe you something. You go into it with the wrong, and it throws these men off. The same way if it was a woman, let's flip it around, because for the people in the back, let's flip it around. If you know you're a decent woman and you're going on a date with a guy, and this guy, comes up and he's talking mad crazy and he's, saying some unrealistic stuff to you and coming outside the box and start asking you for things that you would look at him sideways. You would get up and walk away from him. You'd be like, oh, hell no, I'm not dating him ever again. You got to put yourself in the position of the men to understand how these men see things. And to see yourself, to see how unrealistic that the things that not all women, it's not all women, but for the ones that it applies to, and think about the things that you're asking from these men and this entitled mindset that you have. Like, these men owe you something. Nobody owes you anything, but what you only owe yourself something. Anything that you want for you, that's for you to provide, and that's you owe that to you. If you think somebody owes you something, nobody else owes you anything, baby. So if any women could learn anything from this, is stop being entitled. Stop thinking that somebody owes you something, because it'll make you become more realistic and more logical in your approach. That when you're dating a man, these men don't want to be looked at as just their wallets. When you're dating a guy on the first date, you ask where you work at, what kind of car you drive, this and that. I need you to pay my bills and this. Look, and I don't think that's all women doing that, but the ones that are, that is straight up disrespectful, straight out of line, just straight disrespectful for the ones who do that. And to just think that a man has to go out of his way and do all these things for you up on meeting you is insanity. That's insane. And if you had a daughter or you had a son, if you had a son and he went out on a date with a young woman and that woman did that to your son, you would tell him to leave her the hell alone, straight up. You would not allow your son to sit there and try to, and he 20 years old and he dating a woman and he got a little job somewhere that's not paying a whole lot, but he's saving. And then some woman comes along that he takes on a date and he says, Ma, I went on a date with this woman. She asked me to pay her rent on the first. You know, if that's your son, you would be like, son, hell no, do not date her. Leave her alone because she's a gold. You know, you're not going to allow you be okay with your son doing that. And he got a little job trying to save his money. You going to tell him, oh yeah, just go pay her rent. Go do what you're supposed to do. Hell to the law. They know. To be realistic, you're not going to do that if it's your son. So I don't understand why these women think that it's okay. And why has cooperation just gone out the window? What's wrong with cooperating with a man and working? That's what a relationship is. That's what a relationship is. I don't understand why that's such a lost art. Cooperation, working with the person is just done. A lot of these women don't understand what that is. And they don't want to figure it out. Oh, I just need a man to spend money on me. Just spend money on me. Just you got to pay for me. You got to buy. That's a surefire way to keep you single. And if you giving up the skins, they're going to take that and that's it. They might buy you something and they're going to play around with you for a while and then they're going to keep it moving because they see what type of time you on. They're not going to want to sit there and deal with you as something serious in their lives because they know you're not serious. And so these women play these games and you might get a guy who spend a little money on you, but that's all he gonna do because he gonna want something in return. If he spends some money on you, you give him the skins, he get that, and that's all. It's gonna be a transactional situationship. And that's what a lot of women are complaining about. Why these men don't take us seriously? Why they ghost us? Because you don't take yourself seriously. And you don't really know what a relationship is supposed to look like. And they know that, and that's why they just play you. So you gotta do better, learn better. They got all these degrees and you still don't understand what it takes to make a successful relationship, nor do you want to do what's necessary to maintain one. It's insanity. What's going on, Paul? Thank you so much for the super chat. Once again, I appreciate you, sir. Says, hey, DeeDee. I don't have anything on the topic. Just wanted to stop by and show support to our sister. Please hit the like button, super chat, and cash app and show DeeDee some love. Thank you so much, Paul. I appreciate you for that. Thank you so much for putting that message out there. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you once again, sir. Thank you for stopping by and thanking you so much for the generous super chats. I definitely appreciate you. Appreciate you for that. Thank you so much. But yeah, it's ridiculous. Joe Poley, I hope I'm saying your name right. They still won't choose you. DeeDee, hope the money keeps you. Good. What? What if I got a husband? What you mean? You what's wrong with you? Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Baby, my husband keep me warm at night. What are you talking about, baby? See, this is what I talked about earlier. A lot of these women are miserable, baby. And they don't know if they're coming or going, child. Child, and this is why I say a lot of single bitter women are the ones who call married women pick-me's. I just said that earlier. Excuse me, y'all. I just said that earlier. Child, they still want you, baby. I'm married 20 plus years, honey. My husband keep me warm at night. This is why I tell women how to get a man, because a lot of these women are single out here and lost in the sauce, and y'all don't know what to do to get a man. You can't keep one, you can't get one, and then you're complaining about all men. Baby, I don't need my husband keep me warm at night. I don't know, child. Girl, you better go get you one. And I hate to be mean, but Jesus Lord, this is what I be talking about. Miserable, bitter women who don't understand how to get a man. My husband keep me warm at night, trust me. Lord Hammer, but thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Girl, and thank you for the super chat. Sean Love says women want a man smart enough to have the financials, but stupid enough to give it all to them. Exactly. Yeah, they want a man who's taking the time to build himself up to turn around and just spend all their money on them on a superficial lifestyle that doesn't matter. Any man, I say this again. Ooh, excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. Any man. Excuse me, y'all. I had a burp. I'm so sorry. Any man who's worked, any person, any man, it is. I'm not even going to go on this high value man situation or any of that. It's just any man in general, any man who's working to build himself up, to establish himself, to get himself to a better place, shouldn't be pressured by a woman who is not even your girlfriend and not even your wife, but by no woman to turn around and give these women a lifestyle that they've accustomed to lose everything that he's worked for. No, that's not what you're working for. That's not what you're working for, to build yourself up, to turn around and just spend it all superficial on these women. This is why I say I'm not a man, so I don't try to tell men what to do, but I will give this little bit of advice. For men to not lead with your wallets, because if you lead with your wallet, you're going to have to continuously lead with your wallet. You're going to have to continue to do that, because the minute you can't, the women who are like this, and once again, it's not all women, but for the women who are like that, that's all they there for. So when you can't provide for them financially, they on to the next. If you can, we've heard women say this, hey, if something happened with this lady said, if her husband got in an accident or whatever, he couldn't work or couldn't, she was going to go find her another one, child. And once again, this is not all women. I make that very clear, but there are a lot of women who are complaining about men, talking about men are dusties and at the bottom of the barrel and all of this. They're only looking for what you can provide for them financially. And when you can't do it, child, they on to the next. I said it over and over and over. And so you got to be mindful of that. That's why a lot of these men are not doing that. That's why they're not going out here trying to please these women off rip. Because listen, you can make money, but you don't have to spend it on these women. If you want a man, then you, just as much as women want a man to prove to them their worthiness, then you as the woman got to prove your worthiness to a man. If you don't want to do that, just stay single. Stay single. Thank you so much for the super chat, Sean. I appreciate you. Since that's what MD says, you have a troll seeking attention. Child, I love the trolls. It's a great thing to have trolls. They keep you motivated, child. But I appreciate it. But once again, I will say it's the angry, bitter hyenas who, with that pick me stuff and don't realize, just like that lady said in the video, all the women who they be trying to say, pick me and keep, child, baby, I got a husband 20 plus years. Love my husband, was a stay-at-home wife for the majority of those years, pretty much still is. Love my husband, got a family, beautiful children, beautiful house, cars, everything. So I don't understand. And this is why I say the women who don't usually are single, some of them might be married, who knows, but usually they're single, they're bitter. They can't find what they're looking for in their lives. So they try to come at other people who have it. And that's not going to get you. And I'm going to tell you right now, that will keep you single, because it shows that you're not on the right path of thinking. And as long as you're not on you're not thinking properly to get what you want, you're going to stay miserable. And that's unfortunate, because you don't have to be miserable. You could actually learn something and figure out a way to get you to where you want to be. So I understand when you're miserable and you haven't achieved the things you want in your life. that's not my fault, but I can definitely give you some tips to try to get you to a better place, because only people who are miserable with themselves would try to come at somebody else. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying. I say this all the time. None of us, we all don't have to always agree. We can agree to disagree, but you at least should have respect for a person's opinion. I don't care. I've had guys on my panel that I didn't agree with, but we were able to disagree, and I can hear you out and you can hear my perspective. And my thing is this: that's how you learn. That's how you grow in life. That's how you better your circumstances. And I mean, once again, people who, this is why that other video I played of this woman, this married woman, says this is why a lot of married women don't give advice on social media, because the single women have bad understanding. You don't understand what it takes, or nor do you want to understand what it takes to get you what you want when it comes to relationships. You might be okay financially, because a lot of them are lying about that too. But you might be okay financially where you can take care of yourself. That's great. I don't see a problem with women working and taking care of yourselves, because who else gonna take care of you? If you got to do it, you got to do it. Go take care of yourself and be happy with that. But they're miserable. They're miserable. They've been did dirty by a pookie and they don't know how to recover. And then when you hear other people's stories, married women who are talking about their husbands and their families, and they love their husbands and they're not bashing their husbands, these women lose their goddamn minds. And I think it's unfortunate. Honestly, I think it's unfortunate, because I don't think that these women are bad people. The lady who gave a super chat, shout out to you. I don't think you're a bad person. I hope you're still listening too. I just think that sometimes women are misguided. And the only way you're going to get to a better place is if you learn to listen and change the way you think, so that you can get a better outcome. That's it. We got to stop thinking that relationships is all about the men putting in all the work, because, and that you don't have to do anything. But if you work together, you can build together and build a better outcome. That's my message. And if for women, and this is why I say to those types of women who push back on that, you just don't want to do anything. You don't want to do better. You don't think that you have to. You're entitled. And that's why a lot of these women are single. And if you don't, look, if you want to be single, fine, it don't apply to you. But if you want more, then this is where you should have listening ears to try to hear something that will better your outcome. That's it. Anytime anybody gets triggered or mad over what I'm saying, it's because it's a hit dog hollering and you don't want to do anything better, and you having a hard time in that area. You having that hard time in the area of getting a man and keeping one, and getting a man to take you seriously, and getting a man to commit to you and love you and marry you and build with you and build a family with you, where you can have that and be happy. Those are the ones who are the hit dogs hollering, because you don't have what it is that you want. And it's unfortunate that you try to take it out on the women who actually have what they want. Because like I said, it is not bragging. That lady just said it in the video. Women came for her talking about she bragging because she's talking about her good life with her good man. See, they don't want to hear that, because it shows them in a negative light, because you don't think that you measure up, because you can't get it. And you don't want to listen on how to get it. Instead of trying to come against a person who's given their experience and telling you, hey, good men exist, but you need to figure out what these men want in order for you to get one. Oh, y'all come bitter and mad. But baby, that's not going to help you, honey. That's not going to help you. You're just going to continue to be miserable while I continue to live my life with the times like that I have here. Life is too short for shit like this. This is why I said, y'all hear me say it all the time. Life is short. You don't have time to be miserable and depressed and angry and bitter. Figure out what you need to do to get yourself to a better state, honey. And you won't be so bitter. I'm just saying, you won't be so bitter. You will be a better person, because you're doing something that will enhance your life and make it better, besides finances. Because everybody think that money, we need money. Don't get me wrong. Money makes the world go round, but that's not the only thing that makes you happy. So, and these single women are showing it. You can make money. You got a house, you got a car, you can do to pay your bills, but you still want a man. So if it wasn't that important, why, if money was the only thing that mattered, you wouldn't find women out here complaining about not having a man, even though you got everything else. You got everything else, but that one thing you don't have is that man, and you complaining, talking about all men are dusties and they don't want to level up. No, you don't qualify. You don't qualify. You don't qualify for the man that you want. The man that you want don't want you. That's the problem. Stop hating on women who have the man that they want and the lifestyle that they want and happy with it. And don't have to be out here being bitter, mad at married women. Get your shit together. Figure out what you need to do to change your life, change your mentality, and then maybe you'll get what you want. That's it. Don't be bitter and mad at others, honey. Get your life together. Figure out what you need to change to make it work for you, and you'll be better off. And then come back and tell me the outcome. Because other than that, being bitter and mad at people is not going to get you the outcome. You're just going to be bitter and mad for the rest of your life. And life is too short for that. It really is. Successful MD says you have thank you, Successful MD. I appreciate you for the super chat. I wouldn't even call it a troll. It's just people are misguided. They don't know no better. They think that's doing something, but it's not. It's not going to get you what you want. Successful MD says she's been trying to disrupt you for 30 minutes. Really? Oh, no, that's fine. I appreciate her. She gave me a super chat. Thank you. Thank you, girl, for the super chat. I hope you get your shit together. DeeDee, did you see her, Cynthia G, bang yang in her pic? I did not. I did not. Listen, I don't be paying attention to all that, child. I be trying to do my little work and move on. I don't be paying attention, but thank you. Thank you for the super chat, Skinny Boy, Twitty Boy. I appreciate you. Yeah, I welcome trolls because I think, because I wouldn't call them trolls. I think it's just like I said, misguidance. A lot of women just think the way they think either because, excuse me, y'all, either because how they were raised. Because listen, I came from a single mother too, so I get it. It's no hatred, no love lost, and none of that. I understand the mentality. I was raised by a single mother, so I get the mentality, and that's why I think this is why I say a lot of women need to change the way they think because it's not helping them. You know what I mean? And it's insanity to keep doing the same thing over and over and over and not getting a different outcome. Common sense, logical sense will tell you, hey, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and you keep getting the same outcome, you're not getting anything different, change what you're doing. You got to put in the work to change what you're doing. It's easy to try to put the focus on somebody else, but it still doesn't negate the fact that you need to make some changes within. Because now you just put it all on that person. You can't be responsible for other people's choices and what they do. You're only responsible for what you do, changes you make for yourself. And if you don't want to do that, then how are you going to get anywhere? How are you going to become better? How are you going to make changes in your life? You can't do it. You can't do it. You got to start looking at yourself and stop looking at everybody else and get your life together. You know? Paul Harrison coming through with another generous super chat says her husband keeps her warm at night. Damn, she's mad DeeDee because she's not getting money the right way. A husband and a wife who knows how to get money equals a jealous hyena. Thank you once again for the super chat, Paul. I appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I'm sitting here talking about it, and then she was basically confirming what I'm saying. Like I said it earlier, married couples usually, and before I started doing this, I barely was on social media. It's a fact that married couples usually aren't on social media unless they're doing something together, or if they're doing something, usually aren't on social media like that because they're living their lives. And so a lot of married couples don't give advice because they get pushback. You would think that women who want good men would listen. You think that they would listen and be like, okay, I don't know these people. Let me listen. Maybe I could get something out of this. Let me hear what they're doing in their lives. Let me hear what they, how they making their relationship work. Let me hear how they met. Well, how did they think? No, they don't want to hear that because it's going to require, because we weren't sitting back waiting at the finish line to get a man rich. No, we understood that this is a good man. He's into me. I'm into him. We got to know each other. We, he saw that I was wifey material. He wanted to marry me. He married me. It wasn't no rocket science. No, look, he sees that he has a cooperative woman, a woman who's not a gold digger, who's not just looking at his wallet and trying to just take everything that he has, but he sees a woman that he cares about and wants to commit and marries her, which they try to say black men don't marry women, but they do. Just because you can't get one don't mean that it ain't happening. You know, black men marry more than black women. And so I'm just saying, I get it. It hurt people don't know what else to do. I get it. And I know in this social media world, that comes with the territory. You're going to get people because they don't understand, you know, they don't really understand. They just lashing out because they really hurt inside. And I really don't, you know, look at it as a negative. I look at it that these people need some goddamn help. You need a little help. You need somebody to guide you. You didn't have that. And you're just lashing out. You're just lashing out because you just like a lot of these women. And I'm going to play a video, another clip, the last clip I'm going to play for you guys, of these women complaining about being lonely. See, it's the thing. A lot of these women are lonely. See, I'm not lonely. Thank God. Thank God. I'm not lonely. I got enough children to keep me entertained. I got a husband that I love and he loves me and his family and takes care of his family. I mean, what else could you ask for? This is why I can speak on the BS that's out here now, because these women are so superficial and all they think is I got a degree and I can make money and a man needs to level up. This is why y'all gonna stay by yourselves, because you're entitled. I got a degree too. But do you see me walking around here bragging about it? Oh, I got a bachelor's degree, so I'm everything since sliced bread. No, that don't mean shit. You got a degree. So if I ever needed a job, I could go get a job. But I don't want a job and I don't need to go get a job. So what I'm saying is, you got to stop leading with your education, thinking that makes you better than average men, because you're not. As opposed to looking at it like that, look at it like, look, you want a husband, you want companionship, you want a man that has great character, somebody that's good to you, somebody that wants to be with you and want to build with you. A lot of these women don't want to build. Society has brainwashed these women to make them think that the man got to be damn near rich. He just has to come in and sweep you off your feet. I talk about this all the time. Look, I was a stay-at-home wife for 20 years. And my husband wasn't rich. He had a good job. He took care of his family. We had what we needed. It wasn't no superficial lifestyle that these women are looking for. And then everybody's looking for everything right at the gate. And not understanding that you got to build with that person. You build with them. You work with them. And over time, you working together, it gets better. It gets better. You don't stay there. You grow together. I said, look, the first ring that I had was like an engagement ring. It was nice. You know, it wasn't expensive and I didn't even care. But over time, those rings got better. Now I have several rings, which I'm not really that superficial when it comes to rings. But what I'm saying is things get better as you grow, you grow, things get better. You know, we started off in an apartment, then eventually got a house. You know what I mean? Things grow. You can't always expect it right out the gate. And I think that's unfortunately the issues that a lot of women have. You want everything up front because you don't want to do anything and you feel like you deserve. No, that's why, and the men see that. These men aren't stupid. They see what y'all doing and that's why they pass y'all up. Like Danica Marie says, well, y'all are you're not pick me's, y'all pass me's. How she said? Pass me's, y'all not getting picked. They're just passing your ass right by because of your mentality. So if women don't get it together and really, these men are already checking out. These men are not even checking for y'all. So y'all made it. The women who bash men and call men dusties and all that, it's making it bad for any potential good women out there, because these men are just skeptical about women out because everybody's out for the bag. 2024, everybody's getting to the bag. You got to spend money on me. And then y'all wonder why you going out. No man is looking your way. They're doing all these, They're doing all these meet and greets and only women there. You got the only women's club. It's just women. No men ain't even trying to go to these places because the men don't want to have to deal with the BS. So it's got to change. Thank you once again, Paul, for the super chat. I appreciate you, sir. It's just a hot mess. Then they want to go on social media and act like they so surprised. Why I ain't got a man? These men are just not even y'all, because y'all out of order. You're a hot stinking mess. That's why. And you don't want to listen to anybody because y'all got it in the bag. Y'all so smart, y'all know everything with all your degrees. But the one thing you can't get is a man. That should be easy. A man should be the least of your problems. But you can't get one to keep one to save your goddamn life. They try to defeat reality and get mad at failure. Exactly. Thank you, Successful MD, once again for the super chat. I mean, this just confirmed just what I was talking about. Thank God for her. Thank God she came up because it confirmed exactly what I was saying. You're so educated. You're so educated to the point where you're stupid. You don't even realize what's going on. You think the education makes you educated in all things, and it does not. It does not. It doesn't make you you're smart in all things. No, you're dumb in certain things. And maybe you smart, maybe you went to school and learned something, but that's what you learned that in. You don't, that don't make you an expert in men or relationships or self. Because a lot of these women are unaware of themselves. They don't know if they're coming or going. So how are you going to be good to any man when you can't even be accountable for your own actions and you can't even be self-aware? You don't understand when you got a good thing right in front of you. You don't understand when somebody could be giving you the best information that you could use to get your shit together. You don't even recognize that. You don't even recognize when a blessing is right in front of you because you're so bitter and mad at the world because you don't know why you can't accomplish the things that you want and others are getting it all around you. Get your shit together, figure it out, do something to change your situation. Stop blaming everybody else. That's a sucker mentality. Trying to blame everybody else for you not having the outcomes that you want and you don't want to do anything to change your own lifestyle. That ain't nobody else's responsibility but yours. And a lot of these women are single mothers. They have children and they're not teaching their kids the right things. That's something you would tell your child. Stop making excuses. Put your big boy panties on or big girl panties, either one. Suck it up. Figure out a way. Stop wallowing in it. You know, you may have failed at something, but get up. Put your big girl panties on. Get up and figure out another way. And stop crying and trying to blame people because that don't fix the situation. It's almost like you talking to children, like I would talk to my child. But all they could say is, oh, some dumb shit. Like, come on now. It's crazy though, but you know what? And I thank God for this because this is a blessing. It really is, because at least somebody is listening. Somebody is listening, and hopefully they can get a message out of it and stop being bitter and get over the bitterness and just get to learning to do better. That's what it's all about. Everybody don't have it. Everybody don't know. Everybody don't, have the experiences that I have or what other married couples have. I understand that a relationship takes work. I understand that you got to work with your man. You can't just sit back and be entitled. And no degree or any of that stuff should make you feel like that. If you got a good man, work with him. And I'm not saying that you need to just accept anybody. No. I'm not saying just accept any man just come in your way. No, because just any man is not good enough. I'm saying position yourselves, drop the entitlements, stop listening to what this modern society is telling you, and think for yourself and understand that you have flaws too. You have flaws. He has flaws. But if y'all have the basic things that are helpful or conducive to a healthy relationship, this person has great character. They care about you. You meet a guy that's into you and want to be with you, and he's an overall good guy, but he's not perfect, but he's an overall good guy and he respects you and loves you. Work with the man. That's all I'm saying. Stop focusing on, he got to be 6 feet tall. He got to make 6 figures. He got to be my type. Your type has not been working for you. So logical common sense will tell you, let me pick another type. Or is it all about the type? Because that type gonna get you pregnant and walk away. Because that's what all we seeing. And you're gonna constantly be bitter and blame all men because he did you dirty. No. Get it together. Get it together. Because you waste a lot of time. We look, if you count how many days you've been living, you'll realize it's not that many. Count how many days you've been living. Instead of doing it in years, calculate how many days you've been living. My husband showed me his the other day, and I forget how many it is, but count how many days you've been living, and you'll realize it's not that many days. And it shows you how short our lives are. You don't have time to be playing around. And this is why I don't really get mad or bitter. I just, I'm a human being, but I understand where people are coming from. I really do. Very good understanding as to where people are coming from. I know, it's not easy for everybody. It's not easy. Life is ebbs and flows, ups and downs, as my husband would say. It's a mixture of good, bad, and ugly. And you have to learn how to maneuver this life. You have to learn how to maneuver the things that this life throws at you. I'm pretty sure a lot of people thought they would be at a certain position at a certain age. When you're younger, you know how you're like, okay, I want to have this, and that by this age, or I want to be doing this, and that. Some women even say, oh, I thought I would be married by 30 and have kids by that age and this and that and that. And then when life hits, your life go nothing like you envision it would be. And that's a letdown to a lot of people. And that's disappointing for some because they become depressed because they're like, well, damn, I thought I would be here. But, life is not a movie. It's real. It's not a fantasy. It's real. And life has ups and downs, unexpected things that come into your life that you didn't anticipate that either slows it down or push it forward. So we're not privy to what's going to happen or the future. So we got to be happy with where we are, but also understanding that you can always learn. I say I learn something new every day. Learn more to better your situation, especially if you want a different outcome. If you're looking for something more, understand it's going to have to start with you. It don't start with nobody else. You can't be out here looking like, oh, I'm just going to manifest a rich man because he's going to come in and hell. We all would want to manifest some things, and I would like to manifest $20 million, but that's not likely. I would like to manifest $20 million too. I would like to manifest some shit too. Why not? But if it was that easy, we'd all be rich. Because I'm pretty sure everybody watching this would love to have $20 million. I'm pretty sure you're not going to turn it down. So if we could all manifest to be rich and living, abroad or whatever, we would all be rich and living well. But we know logically that's not likely. That's not possible for the whole world to just, that ain't gonna happen. We all can't manifest $20 million or more. And are we all rich just living? That ain't gonna happen. We all would want to manifest some stuff, but we know we got to be more realistic and strive for what we want, but be realistic in our approach. I'm not saying you can't dream big and you can't have aspirations. You should. But there's some reality in that too. And when it comes to relationships, I think a lot of women in particular, I'm going to have to stress women because like I said, women are the ones who are complaining and they think that men could just make all this money and then turn around and spend it all on them, which I think is ridiculous. When they have OnlyFans and all that, these men ain't doing OnlyFans and putting their bodies out there to make a whole bunch of money and put themselves on the line to turn around and just spend it on you every day on purses and shoes and wigs and nails. Hell, the women making the money, they don't even want to spend their money. That's why they're looking over to men to come and spend it. Spend theirs. Oh, I don't want to spend my money. I want to spend your money. So they know they have to work hard for theirs. They don't want to spend it anymore. They want you to spend yours. Why is that a fair deal? Why is that a fair deal that you got to look over to the men for them to spend all their money that they work hard for, and you could just sit back and keep yours. That's unrealistic. That's ridiculous. That's not even fair. But women like things to be fair, and they want to be equal. How are you equal to a man if you don't want to spend money? Y'all expect men to spend money. Like I said before, if you want to be equal to a man, you need to pay for some of them damn high-ass dates. If you want to go to an expensive restaurant, why don't you pay for it sometime? I mean, men would appreciate that. You come out your purse and you pay for Root Chris or whatever these high and Root. I don't think Root Chris is not even the most expensive. There's some other more expensive restaurants. If you want these high-ass meals and you want to eat like you ain't ate for days, come out your purse and pay for the damn meal here and there. Then maybe the men might pay, you know. Hell, if you really want to go, you pay for it. No, they don't want to pay for nothing. Oh, because the man's supposed to protect and provide, but not for a random stranger, baby. For his wife and his family. That's who he's responsible for. So if you want to be under a man's covering when it comes to protection, you need to have a husband, boo. That's how that go. I'm just saying. Nothing that's worth anything is free. Nothing is, I mean, if you don't want to work towards anything, why do you deserve it? Anything that's worth something is worth putting in time, effort to get it, and not only get it, but to maintain it. And if you don't want to do that, I don't know what to tell you. Shout out to you.
I'm mad, bitch.
Oh, Lord, I didn't want to play that. Thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate you. CSX 4402. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for becoming a member, sir. I don't know what I was trying to hit I hit the wrong thing. Oh Lord, that was wrong. But yeah, it's just crazy. This is why I say accountability is important. Communications is important for any relationship. Any relationship that you're trying to get in, communication is important. Accountability is important. Being self-aware is important. Understanding each other is important. Women need to understand men, and men need to understand women. If we understand that women are emotional creatures and all that, like I am, I'm a woman. I am emotional. Understanding that most men are masculine and they move a certain way. Understanding that men don't move like women. The way we talk and way we won't expect things to look, a man moves differently. Understanding each other is half the battle in obtaining and maintaining your relationship. Knowing who you're dealing with, knowing the person, knowing their, good and the bad about them. We can't pretend like men are all the bad and men need to do all the work while women don't need to do no work because they're perfect because they got a vagina. It's insanity to me. And this is how a lot of women move. Women move and talk as if they're perfect, like they have no flaws, like they do no wrong. And I think that's a problem because you don't see yourself. For you to think you have no flaws means you are not self-aware. You don't know and see your behavior. All you see is his behavior. All you can point out is everything that's wrong with him and nothing's wrong with you. And God forbid a man actually points out your flaws. Oh, now he's sassy. Oh, now he this. When a lot of these women have toes that look busted. Toes are busted up. I don't care how much toenail polish you put on them. Some of them got missing back and side teeth. Some of them, those wigs look a hot mess. Some of them got a lot of things wrong with them. But if you used to call it out as a man, oh my God, you sassy and you disrespectful. But they could call you out all day and talk about how you look, how you dress, about your receding hairline, about your everything. And it's okay. Because society has made women think that they're all perfect and they're all 10s. And these men need to be lucky to be with any of them. Not looking at their mentality, their attitudes, their entitlements, their selfishness, how they were raised, who raised them, the lack of having fathers in their household, some lack of having mothers who taught them how to be who they are. All of those things matter. Don't matter if they got 2, 3 baby daddies, like their choices in life. None of that matters. See, none of that matters when it comes to a woman, but all of it matters when it comes to a man. If a man had 5 different women, 5 different baby mamas, oh, that's a red flag to these women. But it's not a red flag when they have it. Oh, you got to have some sympathy and understand where we're coming from. No, he don't. He ain't got to have no sympathy. He ain't got to understand shit. He ain't got to understand where you're coming from. Yes, he have a choice. He can say, nah, I don't want to deal with that. I don't need to hear no more. I don't need to hear what happened. I don't want to hear nothing. He don't have to listen to shit. He could choose to just walk away. Just like you have the choice to walk away. He could see a big red flag and say, nah, I don't want to deal with that. You can't convince him to hear your sob story to make him feel like he should come date you. No, he already know, 5 baby, nah, I don't want it. 300, 400 pounds, I don't want it. You don't have to listen to nothing else you have to say. Successful MD, thank you for the super chat. Says a woman should be grateful to men that offer dates, right? If a man is willing to even take you on a date, you should be appreciative. I don't care where it's at. But once again, thank you, Successful MD, for the super chat once again. But once again, society is telling these women that, oh, he just wants to do the bare minimum. Oh, he's just gonna take you for ice cream because that's how he sees your work. And this and that, all that BS. That's a bunch of bullshit. That ain't what that means. This is why these women are single. This is why, because y'all allowing social media to tell y'all these lies and lead y'all astray. A good man could be right in front of you. You won't see him because you're looking for something superficial. And that's why. That's why. And you could, and this is what I'm saying. I think that's why I say I don't care what dudes have got on this panel and said, the men, no. Now, while I do think there are some men that need to change their behavior, hell yeah. I'm never going to just totally exclude that there aren't crazy men out there. Men who don't listen. They've been preaching this forever. Oh, deadbeat dads. Men who don't yes, there are deadbeat dads. No, I don't think any of y'all on here are disputing that. That would be unrealistic to do so. Yes, there are deadbeat dads. There are men out here who just don't take care of the responsibilities. They're out here trying to sleep with everything and walk away and don't give a damn. Yes, there are men. All these types of men exist. But my issue is with the fact that women push that this is all black men. And I know it's not. And that's all the point. And also the point I'm making is, if there are deadbeat black men out here, there are deadbeat black women. There are deadbeat women out here too. But you're supposed to turn a blind eye to that and not act as if they don't exist. They do. So what do we say about that? Because everybody, all the sisterhood want to act like all women are perfect. There's no excuse for a woman. All the excuses for the women to do what they want, and somehow there's an excuse for them being deadbeats, but there's not an excuse for a man being a deadbeat. Make that make sense. I don't understand. For women who fought to have equality to men, they really ain't using that. They don't really want to use that. Now they're selective in what they want equality from. If you want to be like a man, accept the fact that they got a lot of deadbeat mothers too, just like the men. There are a lot of women who are raised by single mother, toxic upbringings, who have a lot of trauma. Y'all haven't dealt with your trauma. You ain't coming into the relationship whole like you wanted from a man. Y'all were raised by the same mothers. So both of y'all came out of that with issues. It's just you haven't dealt with yours because you've been given an excuse, and the men are trying, while being bashed and put down, every step they take. Every step they try to make, somebody is criticizing them. While the women are messing up left and right, and their behavior is being excused. I have sons and daughters. I'm not gonna excuse my daughter's behavior and ignore the fact that she did something wrong just because she's a girl, but then hold my sons accountable in everything that they do wrong, and put more pressure on them to do the right thing and let her have an excuse. No, wrong is wrong. I don't care who you are, whether you're a man or a woman. Wrong is wrong. And I think that's one of the biggest problems we have in society. Women like to point out and show all the bad stuff that men do, that some men do, and just make that the narrative for all men. And it's just not the case. But if you start pointing out all the stuff that women do, oh my God, it's a problem. Why are we even focusing on that? Why? And then they still try to blame a man. So she did this to her kids. Well, what did the man do? No, what did she do? Stay focused. Because you're not going to deviate when it's him. They could point out all the messed up stuff that black men do, but baby, just as much messed up stuff you can pull up for a black man, you can pull equal amounts of black women out here. Oh, men are deleting women every hour. Oh, but there aren't women who delete men? Tell me they're not. There's a bunch of news casts where women are deleting their men and children. So come on now. You got to be fair. Stop pointing the blame and look at yourself. Look at some ways that you can improve yourself. Instead of thinking that it's all somebody else. Skinny Boy 20 Boy says, my mother is a deadbeat, but it's all love. She has substance abuse and alcohol problems. Love you, Mom. And look, see, but listen, Skinny Boy, I mean, that's the case for a lot of women. I grew up seeing that. But, don't talk about it because, we're going to try to get some help for these women, which is great. They need to get help. But what about the men? Nobody's trying to help the men. You want to help the women, and then you care less about the men, but then turn around and complain that the men ain't getting their shit together. Where's the help? Where's the aid for these same men who may have had substance abuse or had issues? Because none of us are perfect. If you have empathy for women, why they don't give that same empathy for the men? It's like you want to keep them down just to have somebody to complain about. This is why a lot of women, I said this before, and I'm gonna play this other clip for y'all. This is why I said this before. Women love to deal with men who they think they can one up. You talk about these men are bottom of the barrel, but these are the men that a lot of these women choose. These are the men you give babies to. These are because you felt like you was doing something great. You don't want to build a bear or build a boo. But that's what you end up doing and then complain about it because that's what you qualified for. You get with Pookie and Ray Ray and let him live in your house, let him eat, drive your car. They talk about it all the time. I didn't dealt with a Dusty. I tried to help the man. No, we're not talking about a man who is not trying to help himself. You're dealing with, it's like I said, educated, but the education goes out the window when it comes to relationships. You know why? Because those types of men are the men that they're attracted to. That's their type. And they hate to say it. Their types is Pookie and Ray Ray. We already know that. We've already established that. The bad guy that got muscles and he's tall and he's handsome, but he don't really want you. Your type is the guy who don't want you. We've established that. We watched women say, why am I attracted to guys who don't want me? And you hear baby crying in the backseat. You went and gave him a baby real quick and now you just realize he don't like you. But you gave him a baby because you were attracted to him. He was your type. Your type don't want you. And they keep going after their type and then blaming the failures of their type on all men. That's not fair. And that's not true. Just say the kind of guys that you are attracted to don't want you, but you tried to make them want you, gave them a baby, and you let them live with you. And those are the ones who don't have a house, don't have a car, don't have nothing, don't have a job, but you took him in because he was your type. Let's be honest. Your type didn't want you, and you did everything in your power to try to make him want you, and he still didn't want you. So now you bitter and mad at every man. No. Y'all got to get y'all shit together. Bottom line. And she didn't give him a baby. She kept the baby and takes child support. And the thing about that is them guys the guys who they get a babies to don't even be paying child support, baby. Quiet as it's kept. Because they never worked. So they don't even be paying child support. You'd be surprised how the deadbeats don't even pay child support. Don't even put them on child support. Because they don't think they could get nothing from him because he never worked. He never had a job. He was living off her. What child support they gonna get? You can put him on it, but you don't get nothing because he ain't made nothing. This is why they don't want the bottom of the barrel anymore. Pay attention to what they be saying. This is why you don't want the bottom of the barrel anymore. You want, a man with some money. So if you do get a baby, then you can get something out of him. You don't want him, but you want his money because you know you can get something. Trap him with a baby. Now you're getting something. But the boogies ain't got no money. Not the ones these women fooling around with. You just, DJ Bells, they just swing D good. Exactly. They don't be having no money. They know it. That's why they complain. When you hear these women talking about, they've dealt with the bottom of the barrel, they're talking about the guys who didn't have nothing. And they said, we gave our all to these guys and they just treat us like dirt. You talking about the guys who you shouldn't have given your all to. Those are the guys you should not have wasted your time with. See, and women hate to accept the fact that they picked the wrong men. You picked the wrong men, thinking that, you can make him into what you want him. He'll see you had his baby. He'll see you push his baby out. And if you're loyal to him and help him out and help him with certain things, that he's going to turn around and be what you need him to be. And a lot of times they don't turn around and be what you need him to be. And then he walk away and go screw other women, get other women pregnant. And then you're hurt. Yeah, you're hurt because you really liked him because he was your type. You really was into him and you really helped him out because you really liked him. We've had women on social media come out and say, look, the guys the guys that they like, they don't care if they have a job. They don't care about that 6-figure stuff. They don't care about none of that if it's a guy that they like. Women have exposed themselves. There's no going back from that. The information is out there. Women have literally come out and said the guys that they like, they don't care about 6 figures. They don't care about none of that. He could work at McDonald's, child. I heard the lady say it out of mouth, and this is nothing new. They've been saying it. The man that you are attracted to, you will help him. They will help him, and that's what they've been doing. But those men aren't loyal. They don't really want you like that. They sit around you because you're willing to take care of them, and they can get off scot-free. So when you've done that and given babies to these guys and you've dealt with that for 10, 15 years, now you're bitter and scorned and hurt. Now you got the bitter women who, watching my channel trying to come for me because you mad because you're bitter and lonely and you can't get a man to love you and be with you to save your life. Now you're mad at me because I'm not bitter and I'm not lonely. But I've never been with a Pookie either. Just saying. I've not given my all to a Pookie, a man who didn't have a job and didn't have a house or apartment or nothing going for himself. So you can't be mad at somebody else when your experiences and your choices are different. It's not about being right or wrong or who did it better or it's about your choices. Look at your choices. Nobody forced you to make the choice that you make. We all have made dumb choices in life. We all have, we're not perfect. So we all make mistakes in some way, shape or form. Nobody's exempt. What I'm saying is if I make a mistake, I'm not going to come on social media and try to tell somebody else, about themselves when I know I make mistakes too. I'm not gonna be mad at somebody else who made a different choice from me, and so they got a different outcome. If anything, if I want that outcome, I'm gonna listen to what they did. That's being smart. That's being smart, using your brain and that education that you got. If it's so worth all of that, use your common sense to say, you know what? This is why, and my husband told me this a long time ago. Look, you if you don't want to be broke, stop hanging around broke people. That's what he said. If you're looking for something more, if you don't want to be broke, you gotta remove yourself from broke-minded people because people talk broken. People who are broke, they talk from a broken, disadvantaged mentality. And you got to realize if you keep surrounding yourself around those people, you're going to stay trapped in that mindset. If you don't want to think like that, if you want to elevate, get around the people who have what you are looking to get. If you want to be rich, if that's your goal, start positioning yourself around people who have the things that you want. If you want to be married, Start hanging around married people. Start being around married people. Start figuring out what did they do to get married, and what did they do to maintain? What are they doing? So you can figure out a different way to approach your situation so that you can get what you want. Stop hanging around. You got these women want marriage, and you still, all your friends are single. All y'all still twerking on tables. All y'all still out here just being ratchet outside all the time. And you think you're going to just up and find a husband? No. Surround yourself around the people who have the type of mentality that you want, or have the things that you want. Because you know why? Because you can learn from them. You learn things from them. You learn from the people that have what you want. But for some reason, when it comes to our women, they lost in the sauce. You hate the thing you can't have, as opposed to embracing it and try to get some information. Listen, I would love for women who are confused about the message to, contact me, email or DM me if you have questions. I'll give you some information, or the best I can give you, to try to help you out. It's no hard feelings or anything about any of it, because I'm not bitter. I don't have an issue with people I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't have an issue with strangers. That would be insanity to me. People you don't know, you mad at. I mean, I think that's a little cuckoo. I can't be mad at people I don't know. I don't know you, so I can't be mad at you. But I can give you some constructive criticism. I can give you a little bit of advice that might help your situation. And I'm open to doing that, And I just think that's what this is all about. It's all about giving your experience, giving your 2 cents to maybe help somebody else. People might not like the delivery or whatever, but who cares about the delivery? As long as you're getting a message, and if it can help somebody, then I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it being able to give somebody advice that will actually help them. It's not, they like to take it as bashing only because you don't want to hear the truth, or it triggered something, a wound, an old wound that you don't want to bring up. You don't want to address, the truth hurts. I know it. The truth hurts. And I'm not exempt. There were times I didn't want to hear the truth either, but I have to hear it. That's how you grow. That's how I know. I know what it is because I've experienced it. I didn't want to listen to certain things. I didn't want to hear the truth, or, I'm human. So I know it takes you being self-aware. And this is why I thank God for my husband, because he actually made me see myself in certain ways that I didn't see. Sometimes you can have an entitled kind of mindset. You think you know everything and you really don't. And then when somebody else tell you, oh no, that's not it. You get mad because you don't want to accept that. Oh, you didn't really know what you was talking about. Like, it could be small things, but it's still certain things that we all need some checking on, because you just don't know. You're not self-aware. You don't realize yourself sometimes. And it's good to have somebody to make you see yourself, because it's helpful. And I had to go through that too, and I just think, it's not coming from a place of perfection. I don't believe in perfection. I think that we're all works in progress. I think we all have things we could work on, and what better to work on them than with somebody that really cares about you. And it's, to me, and I will say this too, the idea of coming to a relationship whole, I think that's unrealistic. I don't think a lot of people are never going to be whole. There's stuff that people have not resolved, and they like 60 and 70 years old. So I think it's more realistic to think that some people are just not going to be fully trauma-free for their entire lifetime. I think if you look at it that way, you'll understand that, hey, this person is dealing with this, something that happened to them, they just haven't gotten over it yet. Everybody don't deal with their issues the same. Everybody don't get through them at the same rate. So some people may be dealing with something for years. But to me, when you have another person who understands that, because y'all both, because we're human, are going through things, you can have conversations together, and you can help that person, and that person help you. But a lot of times when a lot of people try to deal with their issues by themselves, and that is not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily work the same for everybody. Sometimes people need somebody else to help them through stuff. Some people may be able to deal with their issues by themselves. It just depends. but it's not a one size fits all. You know what I'm saying? So I think the majority of people don't fully get over trauma depending on what it is, but you can definitely work through it. You can definitely work through it and discuss it and have conversations about it, talk about it, get better, incrementally, not just all of a sudden, oh, I'm healed all, because that's a lie. It's a lie. And a lot of these women know it. You see a lot of women displaying their traumas out on their children, out on their relationships, out on their family members. You see it happening. So if these, they like to talk about a man coming to the table whole, when I know a bunch of women who are nowhere near that, they have a lot of trauma, a lot of issues, and it shows. But once again, it's women. That's it. Just ignore them, and I don't think it's helping them. I don't think it's helping them. It's just making them worse and more entitled, and nobody wants to deal with it. So it's definitely something that they need to work on. Let me go ahead and play this next clip for you guys, because this is interesting. Here we go.
Just a little bit. So you said, yes, the loneliness comes when you don't really know how to be alone. I disagree. I feel like you can absolutely know how to be alone and enjoy your solitude and still be alone for a long period of time. Now you are feeling lonely, and that loneliness is taking a toll on you. I think that we have to remember we're human, and self-love is never going to replace romantic or even platonic love. It's not. We are made to do life with each other and in community and fellowship. We are not made to do life alone, and that's biblical. So as a human, it's normal to feel loneliness when you are alone for a long period of time. And I see that you said find joy from within in your circle. Absolutely find joy from within, 100%. Again, however, self-love, self-care, all of these things are never going to replace doing life with other people. You did say to find joy within your circle, and I agree, but we have to be honest, everybody doesn't have a circle. A lot of the people who are healing, and like I said in my original video, and they are learning about boundaries and they're communicating said boundaries, and people are dropping like flies because you now have boundaries. A lot of people are losing friends as they heal and evolve. Either they're outgrowing them, or their boundaries are making people be like, girl, you acting funny now. You think you and they outgrow these friends. Or they realize that these were unhealthy friendships in the beginning. Maybe they've turned away from unhealthy habits and they no longer partake in what their group of friends partake in. So they slowly drifted away. Everybody does not have a circle, and I just want to be the voice for those people because it's real. And even when we're talking about family, I mean, everybody doesn't have family. Everybody doesn't have a big family. Some people may have family, but you may have an emotionally unavailable, busy living their own lives. You may have a dysfunctional family. You may be the curse. Your family feels like you're pouring into them, so it can be draining sometimes as much as you love them. And so I want to be a voice for those people. If you're any one of those people and you are alone and you are lonely, you have not found your equally yoked friends quite yet, you've outgrown your old friends, you don't have a circle, you're searching for your church family, you're searching for the right church and things like that, and you've been alone for a long period of time and you feel lonely and that loneliness is taking a toll on you, you're human. It's okay to feel that way. Don't settle. But don't feel shameful for feeling lonely and having a moment where it's like, dang, this loneliness is taking a toll, because that just means you're human.
Listen, I think, look, once again, certain situations you can't control, right? Certain circumstances are out of your control. So if you haven't found a person to be in your life and you just haven't found them, but you're searching, you're looking, there's nothing you can do about that. But be content with where you are until you find the person for you. So I know what she's saying, basically saying, listen, a lot of single people, especially women, or let's just say in general, but a lot of women depend on their circle of girlfriends, their circle of friends to keep them busy. They depend on them to spend time with, so that they're not lonely, or that their loneliness isn't, exaggerated. They depend on their girlfriends, and and I've seen videos of women complaining that, they get mad at their girlfriends when the girlfriends find a man. And a lot of these women, to be honest, try to keep their girlfriends from getting a man. They discourage them and have a problem with every man that they date because they secretly don't want them to get in a relationship because they know that that's going to take time away from them. So you got to be careful this with this sisterhood because these women will have a problem with every man that you date or any man that you might seem to get serious with. They'll have a problem with him because that they know that that's going to take time from them. So when I think it's a little slippery slope when you depend on your family, friends, and all that to keep you, occupied when you don't have a man or you don't have children or anything, because that's unpredictable. Family members can get sick, can't be around, friends meet men, do other things, and they want to spend time with a man. They want to get him. They ain't gonna have time for you. So this is why I think if you want a relationship, especially prioritize it when you're younger. That way, by the time you're older, it's not a issue. You know what I mean? It's not something that you're pressed to do because you already have it. But a lot of people tend to look over their younger years and have their so-called funding. By the time they get older, you're by yourself and you're complaining and you want everybody to just be in your corner. But a lot of times people don't have time to do that, But a lot of these women are lonely. They're expressing it and they don't really know what to do. And like she was just explaining, everybody don't have a circle of friends. Everybody don't have that. So, they're sitting around miserable and lonely and depressed because they're like, I didn't think that I would be in this position. I didn't think I would be by myself, and I get it, but and it's funny because I see some older people getting married. It's like it happens, but I think it's a lot that you got to look at and seeing those marriages. You got to look. That's why I say it's not just your age, but it's your mentality, and it's a whole lot of other things that go with that as well. So that's why I say it's not impossible, but you definitely have to put some work in. You definitely have to do something in order to get to that place. Just saying. Let's continue.
That's it. It just means you're human. Not that you don't love yourself. Not that you can't be alone. Not that you... It just means you're human.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I'm in the place in my singlehood where I am not content anymore. And I don't think I ever was, because I know that when you're content in something that is not supposed to be your permanent position, God will make you uncomfortable because he knows you're not supposed to stay there. I recently saw a video of this girl who was talking about how it's okay if we're not content in our singlehood. And I completely agree because prior to me seeing that video, I'm always talking to my sister about like our love lives and things like that. And I told her one day that I just feel like singleness is demonic. And not in the sense that being single is demonic, but being single for a long period of time, that hope deferred, that almost like an ungodly delay, that is what I mean. I believe that our single season definitely holds a purpose. There's a lot of stuff that I've learned about myself, a lot of healing that has taken place, but I do not have to graduate out of singleness in order to move into partnership. Like, I do not have to prove to God that I've gotten my diploma in singleness and show it to him and say, hey God, can't you see I've done all these good acts while I've been single? Can't you see that I have proven myself that I'm now ready to be in a relationship? Because I don't think that's what God wants. I believe that it's okay if we get so uncomfortable in our singleness that we actually go to him and say, hey, you got to deliver on this promise. Like, you got to deliver on this because you said in your word that it's not good for us to be alone. That's your word. Just as my man is seeking me, I'm seeking him as well. And I've been praying for his desire and my desire to meet so that this thing could wrap up. I recently had like a really great experience just in my dating life and stuff. And it made me so emotional because I felt like that experience was like this good thing being dangled in my face. As I was reflecting on it, I was like, Lord, I don't want to keep getting a taste of what love and romance can feel like. I want the whole plate. I am so tired of feeling like this shiny object that gets taken off the shelf, looked at for a little bit, then put back on the shelf. I'm ready to be taken off the shelf.
Well, I would say this. you definitely have to put yourself out there. You definitely have to put yourself out there. You really got, especially in this day and age, you can't sit back in your house and not do anything because you're just gonna be sitting there. You got to put yourself out there in order to find somebody first. And if you're dating guys and they see and and it's not working, you still maybe you're not ready because the real test is going to be when you go out and meeting men. Sitting back just saying God, God, God. No, you got to actually present yourself as the type of woman that the men want. This is why I say too, and I think women really get it twisted. They really hate the idea that they are not in control of the relationship. You know, there has to be something about you that the men are attracted to. You got to put yourself out there to find a guy who is attracted to you. But oftentimes, the men that are attracted to these women, they are not attracted to them back. They're looking for something, and Successful Emily says they are covering promiscuity indirectly, itching. Thank you for the super chat, Successful MD. I think a lot of somebody mentioned about God. I do think a lot of women are using God as an excuse for what they're trying to get, but you can't do that. In my opinion, you have to get out there and you have to do the work. You gotta talk to men, see what men want. If you had great experiences on dates and nothing has come of it, then he's not into you. And so you gotta really start to really, dive deep into yourself and figure out what men want and do the work to get yourself to that place. And then put yourself out there so that you can find a guy. He'll find you, but he can't find you if you're just sitting in your house, sitting in your room, just chilling. You ain't really making yourself available. He's not going to come knock on your door and grab you up. You got to put yourself out there. You got to be what the men want. And I think a lot of times women just want to feel comfortable in where they are and not feel like they have to do anything. Or women hate to compete. When you say, oh, women got to compete, oh my God, their head spin around like the Reagan from The Exorcist. It's like, I gotta compete. Oh, I'm not competing for these men, but you want them. So why wouldn't you want to have to get out and compete and put yourself in a position to get a man? I mean, you just can't. You're just sitting back thinking that that once again an entitled mindset that they're just gonna come run up to you and take you. It don't happen like that. Let's continue.
Is okay as a single woman, more specifically as a Christian woman, to say that God needs to call my number. Like, he needs to call my number for singleness to be wrapped up, because sometimes stuff that goes on for too long, you gotta look at that delay and say, hey, time's up.
Maybe this is too.
Yeah, but once again, Successful MD, thank you for the super chat. Once again, says it's always God after failure and reality slaps them. Facts. And that's why you see. Look, there are a lot of Christians. You go to church, and there are a lot of them in there single, old ladies who are single. A lot of them sitting there single because they're waiting on God. They're waiting on God to send them their man, and they've been waiting for a long time. Some of them be waiting for a lifetime, and I guess God ain't never sent them, So maybe they were still waiting because a lot of them don't ever really get that man. So I'm just saying, if you take that approach, you're gonna be waiting. You got to get out. You got to do something. Faith without works is dead. If you don't get, you gotta put in the work. You got to have the faith that it can happen, but you got to get out and do something, Successful MD says, what expensive date has Pookie provided? Waiting. No, they was buying him some food. Thank you, Successful MD. He wasn't buying him nothing. They was buying him the food, child. Cooking for him and all. But they won't cook and clean now.
Niche, maybe it's not. I don't think it is. But it's a beautiful day outside today. It's literally 70 degrees. It should not be 70 degrees in February where I live, but that's another video. But it's beautiful outside today. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to eat my lunch. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to sit before my next class. It's going to be good. I get outside and I look around and I realize I am quite literally the only person sitting by myself. It just made me so sad to the point where I got up and I literally went inside and I felt like I couldn't enjoy the stunning day that it was today because I was like, I'm so fucking sick of doing stuff by myself. And I don't really feel lonely except in instances like this. And I think this is why my anxiety and my depression actually like is worse during the summer, because I find that during the summer, for whatever reason, I'm always like by myself. I have friends. Don't get me wrong, my friends are incredible. I love my friends, they're like my sisters, but they have lives. And I feel like I don't. Anytime you see me out, 90% of the time, I am by myself. I go to the store by myself. I walk to class by myself. I sit by myself. Like, I'm always alone. And it never bothers me really until it slaps me in the face that, like, oh shit, everyone else is with somebody. Be it platonically, romantically, whatever. And I'm by myself. Like, sitting outside today, like, that was like a perfect encapsulation of like my entire life. Like, everyone was sitting with someone and I was literally the only person sitting alone. And in that moment, it just made me so fucking depressed. Like, it made me so sad. And I've had the same friend since high school, and obviously we were in high school, like, we saw each other every day. And I texted my friends and I was like, you guys, I miss seeing you guys every day so bad. And every time a beautiful day comes around, I'm like, I wish I had someone to like go on a walk with. I wish I had like friends that I saw more often. I wish I had a boyfriend so fucking bad, you guys. I don't know, but it made me really upset, and I literally got up and I went inside because I was like, this is so fucking embarrassing. So anyway, I don't know if you relate. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I hope you don't, because honestly, this feeling is really fucking depressing.
I feel like everybody talks about being single moms and being in relationships or being married and everything, but nobody talks about the single girls who has graduated college or graduated school, you know, got the career, and they're just single, no man, no kids, got the apartment, and you just be feeling lonely. Like, I feel like sometimes I be feeling stuck in this phase of my life, and I'm just like, when will I progress? Like, I graduated college almost 4 years ago. I've been working in my career for almost 3 years. I've been living on my own for longer than that amount of time between me graduating school and everything, and I just still don't have kids. I still don't, you know, have a man. And I just be feeling like that really feels super lonely. And then it's like when you vent to people about it, nobody truly understands it. So everybody will be like, oh, just be patient. Oh, girl, be happy. And it's like, I get it, you know, because we do have a lot to be thankful for, because, you know, we don't have any kids. We can get up and go as we please, spend all our money on ourselves. We can live alone. But besides all of that, it's extremely lonely. Like, I feel like I have nothing sometimes to keep me going. And especially since I work from home, I don't really have an outlet. I'm literally in the house looking at the four walls. I have a dog now. But even that is just like, I just feel like my life feels repetitive. Like, it's like I need something to help me, like, I don't know, like something to basically like switch my day up, change my day. I don't have many friends. And I feel like, not saying I want kids for this purpose, but I feel like if I did have kids, like, it would give me something to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could have something to look forward to. I could probably be planning trips with my kids, or with my man, and we just be taking trips to Disney. We could be doing this. I could be taking my kids to little cute kid places, all types of stuff. But being I don't have that, I feel stagnant. I just feel stuck. I just be sitting here.
Well, you know, that's being single for a long, long time. Well, that'll do it to you. You know, that's what comes with it. But you hear so many women, once again, not all women, but you hear a lot of women complaining about or saying, you know, well, making it, not complaining, but making it seem like being single is just the greatest thing since sliced bread. Oh, we're just happy and we're this. But then on the flip side, you're complaining about it. Oh, I'm so tired of this and I want this. And this is just another example of that, where women go back and forth. And as women, we do it. I do it too, but not on those things, just on smaller things. Like our mind is back and forth, back and forth. 1 minute you're happy about being single, then the next minute you want somebody. 1 minute you're happy, next minute you're depressed. Like, you go back and forth. What do you want? This is why I stress so often. No, figure out what it is that you really want and go after that. And stop complaining, because that doesn't really help. And nobody likes a complainer. They want you to do something. Do something about your situation, because it's your situation. You know, stop complaining, get up and make a difference, because nobody else is going to do it for you. And it seems like that's what a lot of them want. But, you know, on one hand, we have the sisterhood talking about how we're single and we're proud and we're happy, and then the next minute they're complaining and crying, because I don't think a lot of these women thought that they would be single for a long haul. They think, oh, maybe I'll just be single a little bit, then I'll get somebody. And then when they realize, ain't no man popping up and I'm by myself, I gotta pay all these bills and I gotta do it all by myself, then they start to get frustrated and worried, and then they start complaining, But at the same time, you don't need no man. You can do it all by yourself. So which one is it? Are you a strong, independent boss chick? You don't need a man, or do you want a man? And are you willing to work with the man? Are you willing to build a life with him? What? Or are you combative and you want to be a single mother and by yourself? Which one is it? Because you hear so many conflicting arguments and stories and complaints, till you start to make you think this is all just for social media. It's not real. And this is why you have comments like men saying, you know what, we don't even care because we don't even have time for the shenanigans. That's where men are at with it. Like, they don't really want to deal with it because they're like, we don't trust what y'all saying and we don't have the time to do it. Dr. Nikki, MPW, Proctor, Walden, PhD, says, I followed you when you did Umar Johnson content. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Successful Emily says, notice they say man and kids, but not husband. Right. And Successful MD, that's something I grew up with. Most people did not think about marriage or a husband. Where I grew up at, nobody was talking about husbands. They were like, my man, they was having babies left and right. Nobody was ever getting married. They were just like having babies. A lot of these were teen mothers. They were just having babies. They weren't thinking about a husband or anything like that. It just was, it was the norm to just have babies. Nobody was even thinking about marriage. Marriage was like obsolete. That was something they didn't even think about. I don't even think they thought it was possible. You just have babies. That's how I, when I grew up around, they just have babies. That's it. It wasn't really no thoughts about having a husband. So it's like the norm in certain areas. Thank you once again for the super chat. Let's continue.
Like, what's next? Like, what am I doing today? I'm not into the club, so I know a lot of people want to be like, you're young, go to the clubs. I'm 27. People be like, go to the clubs, have fun, enjoy your life. I'm not into clubs, so I really just be in the house. I go to the gym. I'm not a person who frequently travels a lot as well. Like, I'll probably take a trip once a year, but I'm not the type of person who likes to travel back to back. So yeah, like, I just feel like my life be feeling so lonely and so stagnant. I'm just like, what do I do next? Like, what's to life? Like, it's so hard. And then I'm not like, I don't say this to compare myself to others, because that's not what I'm trying to do. Like, I never want to have anybody's relationship. I never want to have anybody's life. But when you're just seeing everybody's, it seems like they're in the next phase of their life surpassing you. People are getting married, having kids at your age, in relationships. You just be feeling like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Like, that's literally what I be looking at myself every day. I be like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I'm 27, still don't got no kids, still don't got no man. Like, what am I doing wrong? I feel like I'm a catch at that. Like, I got a lot going for myself, good head on my shoulders, but I just still feel like, what's next? Like, I just feel like I'm not, I don't know, I feel like I'm not gonna put that, like, claim that on my life that I'm cursed, but it's just like, damn, like, what's going on?
So I'm out here getting my little 5-mile walk in, and I'm thinking about things because, I'm not listening to any music, and I just had a thought that kind of pissed me off. So I am a single black female. I'm 30 years old, and I live in Atlanta, right? So when men approach me,
Child, they say Atlanta is horrible when it comes to dating. Is that the truth? I hear horror stories about people dating in Atlanta. Every time I look, somebody's complaining about the men and the women and the dating in Atlanta. So if y'all know anything about that, let me know in the chat. I want to know, is it horrible when it comes to dating in Atlanta? Because I hear horror stories. Like, they say a lot of crazy stuff about Atlanta and dating. So, child, it just sounds scary to me. But let's continue.
And they find out that I'm single. All the time, they're like, why are you single? You're so beautiful. Who wouldn't wish to have you? Like, stupid shit like that. Now, that's really annoying to me, because I feel like as a beautiful woman, you are automatically judged by men based on what you look like. They will think they'll think that you're promiscuous, or talking to a lot of people just because you're beautiful and you would have a lot of options. The idea that beautiful women have a lot of options is a farce, because out of the people who are approaching beautiful women, what percentage of those men are actually serious? What percentage of those men actually want relationships and longevity and marriage and children, like in the family dynamic, not a baby mom? And not only what percentage of men want those things and really desire those things, but what percentage of the men who are approaching beautiful women are actually ready to commit, are ready to do the work to have a dynamic where there's longevity and you can have family and marriage and all of those things. So in dating, it's a ratio probability thing, right? Because I don't believe that not everyone is serious and doesn't want marriage and kids and things like that, but it's going to be more men who just want to bone, frankly. So because most of the men who approach women just want to engage in intercourse and waste your time and want proximity to you without true commitment, want access to your body without true commitment or any investments into you and your life and your well-being in a relationship dynamic with you. Just because a woman is beautiful doesn't mean that the men who are approaching her are presenting her with opportunities for relationships that are going to bear fruit. Long story short, stop asking women why they aren't married and why they don't have a man, when most of the men who are approaching us, you don't want anything.
Well, and maybe that's her experience. And I'm not going to take away from her experience. Successful Emily, thank you once again for the super chat. Says strong and independent liars. Look, that's her experience. She says she's in Atlanta. Maybe that's her experience. And I will say, you know what? This is the dating world that these single people are in now. Men are not approaching the way they used to, with good reasons behind it, and so to me, I just think, and look, I don't think marriage is for everybody. Is not ready or prepared for marriage, to be honest with you. As much as I'm for marriages and people getting married, everybody is not good at that. Everybody is not prepared for that, or everybody is not, for the whole marriage thing. That is not something I think everybody can do, to be honest with you. Because that's why you see so many divorces. And that's both women and men. I don't think everybody is suitable and ready for that, the marriage life, because it's a lot of commitment involved, unless you have, a marriage that is catered to whatever it is that you want. Like if you have, a different type of marriage and it can work like that. But I don't think everybody is prepared for marriage. Everybody ain't going to be married. People have certain lifestyles they want to live, and that's fine, and some people make agreements if they do get married that this is what they want. And that's how it is. And if that's how you want yours to be, that's on you. That's fine. To each his own, so I don't think it's for everybody, but also I think, Successful MD, thank you for the super chat, says people love games until they are in the L column. Right. Thank you once again, Successful MD, for the super chat. Yeah, I think, it's not a problem until it's a problem. I think people don't focus on serious committed relationships until they're ready. And I think that's one of the major problems. I think when you're ready to settle down, then you want to look at it and take it seriously, but then the men aren't taking you seriously. And honestly, I know a lot of women who have come across good guys, good guys who will have been who wanted to marry them, and they didn't want those guys. See that when you've missed your opportunity several different times, when you weren't ready, they just and then when you get older, you realize you don't have those options anymore. And the men are not jumping to marry because of the conditions that women have put them in. They're scared to marry and commit. They don't want to lose their money or, for whatever reason, they're not into the marriage thing, but for good reasons in most cases. Now, I ain't gonna say that's all the cases, but a lot of them are. Men have specified why, they won't get married. They're like, hey, the laws have to change or whatever reason. It's a different ball game now. It clearly is a different ball game. Men aren't willing to take the risks that they took back then. You saw a beautiful woman and you were interested in her. You approached her. You get to talking to her, whatever. They will spend money on you or whatever. Talk to you and flowers and do certain things. Take you out. Treat her like a lady. And he's a gentleman. He did what he needed to do to try to get that woman, and he got her. And either they were in a relationship or they ended up married and they together and they got their person and they worked it out, or maybe not, whatever the situation. But now people are skeptical. Men are skeptical. Men are not, they a lot of these men have been tricked and fooled and hoodwinked to the point to now they're not just out here trying to just get with anybody and take that risk and take that chance. And because of that, a lot of women are stuck. Now you're ready. Like I said, you done got your degree, you done got your job, you done got your house, you done got your kids, some of them. And now you just want the men, and the men are not just waiting there for you. The men are expecting much more. And unfortunately, a lot of these women do not measure up, So it's definitely a different ball game. Because the men are different. The women have exposed their nature and the men are responding. That's how I see it. Shalonda Robinson says, hi, DeeDee. I love your talking points. Was your husband the only man you've been with relationship wise? No. I was in like one other relationship. I didn't have a whole lot of relationships. I was married pretty young. So I didn't have a whole lot of relationships. We met and we were, we were together, but we didn't get married right away. But I wasn't I hadn't been in like maybe one other relationship, but not multiple serious committed relationships. I've dated, but it wasn't nothing real serious. I've dated before my husband, but it was nothing serious. And it wasn't nothing serious at all. And then next thing you know, I met my husband and we were married. So yeah, I was not, I will say this. I've met dudes who tried to date me, but it didn't go anywhere because they ended up either some of them had girlfriends or, they were lying about something. But it's like I figured it out. Like I met a guy before I met my husband, I met a guy who was trying to talk to me, and he gave me his number. This was so long ago. And he tried to talk to me, but his fiance or girlfriend or whoever tried. I talked about this in my live. His girlfriend ended up calling and telling me that he was engaged. So I've ran across that a couple of those, dudes who actually had like a girlfriend and was still trying to talk to me, but it didn't go anywhere because I always find out that they either had somebody or whatever. And I was pretty young at the time. That was like so old, so yeah, but I've dated, but I didn't date very much. You know what I'm saying? I think my husband was the most serious relationship that I've ever been in. The most serious relationship that I've been in. And then we got married. So, I didn't really date a whole lot. And I ran across, like I said, a couple of situations where the guys were, trying to play around, I guess. But it didn't work out. So, yeah. Thank you for the super chat, Shalonda. I appreciate you. Let's see. at DDE. Allowed me to introduce myself. Dr. Nikki, was your name something else? Because you said you used to follow us when we did Umar Johnson videos. What was your name something else? I don't do I remember you? I don't remember your name. Was your name something else? Let's see. Nigel says, doesn't Ed DeeDee have a child going to college? I have grown children. I have grown children. 20 years ago at DeeDee said, yeah, that was a long time. Yeah, I was young. DeeDee, you have been out the game for a minute. If has changed since then. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, look, I say this, Flint for life. You don't have to be in the game to see the changes. You know, I have sisters, and I know I know one of them experience. I have daughters who are dating. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to be a part of it to know what's going on. I still have people around me who are in it. Yeah, you don't have to be in it to know what's happening. Says, yeah, DeeDee, you'll be walking into a minefield if she were to even dip her toes into the 2024 child. And you're exactly right. That's why I wouldn't be trying to do that. You know, I'm not a Tia Mowry. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not stupid. Why would I? No, there's no way. Like I said before, and I've said this several times, baby, it's till death do us part. Now, when one of us, hopefully that's a long time from now, Lord spare. I don't like to speak on it. That's when that's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And even then, I probably wouldn't be looking to date nobody. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this thing is to the wheels fall off, okay? Because that's what we agreed to, and that's what we signed up for. Successful MD, thank you for the super chat. Says, tell your neighbor too many test drives will hurt. Thank you. Thank you, Successful MD. You crazy. At DeeDee, it was just Nikki Proctor. I think I remember you, Walden. Then I used to super chat you and Paige just to make him laugh. Okay, I think I remember you. I think I do remember your name. Okay, because I forgot a lot of the people from that time. You know, I don't be remembering a lot of stuff. But thank you. I appreciate you for being here. Let's see. Queen of I say, I don't know what kind of ish Tia was on. Right. She turned herself into a bird, Tia Mari, that is. I'm enjoying the stream. Thank you, Lorenzo. I appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, it would be silly at this age to get out here. For what? Like, why would I leave my husband? That's just the stupidest thing ever. For what? Why would you leave your husband and go out back into the dating pool when you see that it's trash? You see that a lot of these, and let me tell you this though. Because I know a woman who's a year younger than me. She's a year younger than I am. And she was married. Her and the husband, they got a divorce, got a divorce. And because this lady is such a good woman, this lady was married a year later, child, to a decent man, a preacher. So, different strokes, different folks. That woman, and I know her. She's a good woman. I will say that. I'll say that at the least without really like saying who she is, because some people might know who she is. In the church, good woman, had a husband that didn't last. I think the husband. I don't know who left who. Honest, I think the husband left. I don't know. And next year she married again, and they're married now, and they look happy. So, and she's a year younger than I am. So I mean, some people. And I know people who have been married several times. Like, some people can just get married like that. Some people don't have a problem finding a person to get married, while others have a horrible time. Some others have a extremely hard time, getting a man. And while others could get a man and get a man to commit to them like nothing. So to me, in my mind, I think it says a lot about the person, about the woman, the type of woman that it is, the type of character she has, who she is. Because even if she's, you know, an older woman, but she has great character, she has all of the things that the man is looking. They might see that as they might see her as a catch again and wife her up again, because I see that happening too. So yeah, it happens. It don't, you don't see it a lot, but it does happen. You see good women end up married again. And you see some older women, as much as, you know, a lot of older women are having a hard time. And we talk about it all the time, how these women are older because their expectations are too high and they want so much from these men. They have a hard time finding a man who wants to deal with that. But there are women who are not like that, who are not unrealistic, who are cooperative, who were married for years. Some of those women end up married again if that's what they want. Some women don't want marriage after either their husbands passed away or whatever, but the ones who do, a lot of them end up remarried. Yeah, if they're still in their 40s or something, like, they end up with a whole nother husband, child. Now, when you see that happen, you gotta, I would feel some kind of way. If I would be like, well, how in the hell she can be married for years and then whatever happens and then end up married again? Some people are just marriage material. That's just what it is, you know, and some are not. Hey, Dari, how are you? Nigel says, once was enough for me, never again, child. Twice for me, for dimension. May 2034 is my D-Day. Dari Hardaway says, I'm having problem with my like button. Child, I don't know what YouTube be doing. Let's see here. Some women have the skills to lure a man over and over again. The good girl and the bad girl is the same girl. At Nigel, there will always be some simp. Oh my God. At Lloyd Divine, wicked. You don't even know the meaning of the words you're using. Marriage is defined in clear words. You won't. Oh, okay. I don't know what y'all talking about there. It happened to Crimson Cure. Yes, Future King sure did. Crimson Cure, yep. That's how you know you got a good woman. I feel like Crimson. Yep, she was married. Shout out to Crimson Cure, Miss Kendra. She was married once to her late husband. She talked about it, and now she's married again. See, some women just have that ability to be able to do that because they're good women. See, a lot of these men are skeptical because a lot of the women are skeptical. A lot of the women are not marriage material. They weren't raised to be wives. They don't even care to learn how to be a wife. They don't even think that they should try to learn what they need to learn in order to be somebody's wife. So there you have it. And they're materialistic and they're independent and they're boss chicks and they don't really need you, but they want you. All of that rhetoric that we hear now is really a lot of the reason why these women aren't married. And you see the women that get married, they're not even like that. They understand what a relationship is supposed to be. And it's not, and I think men understand that, hey, a woman ain't perfect. They know that, but they at least want a cooperative woman that they are attracted to. And they want somebody who's in their corner, not somebody who's stepping away from them, acting like they're better than them, and acting as if it's a contest or it's a fight. You know what I'm saying? They want somebody working with them, not against them, or not competing with them. They don't want a competition. So yeah, that's what that is. Nigel says, wait, too many uniforms. How about naked holding a plate of chicken wings and a beer in the other hand? Oh my goodness. Future King says Six to God is remarried. She was married before? What, Six to God is married before, or this her first marriage? LOL. I mean, a lot of women are birds and thoughts, not qualified for marriage, just a good time. I hear you on that. And shout out to 60 Goddess. I didn't know she got married. Shout out to her. Congratulations. Oh, okay. My bad. Well, listen, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Yes. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, y'all. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button on your way out if you haven't already. If you're new to the channel and you like the content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe. Also, share and like the stream as well. Hit that notification bell to be notified when I go live or post new content. Also, subscribe to my second channel, you guys. That channel, I'll be posting content over there really soon. I haven't gotten to it yet, but definitely go over and subscribe to that channel as well. In the near future, you guys, I'm not going to be posting a lot of, what are they called? Jesus Christ. I be forgetting. What are clips? So I hope you guys are okay with that. I'm going to just start, give my thoughts on a clip, but I may not play the clip. I may just do the audio because, I've been getting copyright claims and I don't want that because that could harm your channel, child, and I won't have a channel. So we got to be cautious with the copyright claims. Well, I got to be cautious with the copyright claims. So I'll probably play the clip and the audio from it. I hope that's okay. Is that okay? Let me know. That way we can still hear it and we can go over it. Certain clips, not everything, but I'm gonna try to limit that because YouTube copyright claims have been coming left and right, and I just don't want to no issues to come with that. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but they really on one with that. But so I want to limit that where we can just have the discussion and y'all could chime in and let me know y'all thoughts on it without using a whole lot of clips. Okay. Thank y'all. I appreciate you because it's getting crazy, right? And I want to, and if you keep getting copyright claims and strikes, you can lose your channel, or I wouldn't be able to go live or post anything. So I don't want to risk that. So certain things I will react to, but when it comes to these clips, we're gonna just I'll play it because I thought it was a good idea to play it where you guys can hear it, just the audio versus the actual video. That'll help. Okay. And I know we see other people playing it, but y'all don't see the behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, people get demonetized. They get copyright claims and strikes all the time. And now I'm getting them. So I realized I got to kind of lay up on it a little bit. We could just talk about it. We can still chime in and still have a good time going back and forth and all of that. So that's what I'm going to be doing. But make sure you guys are continuing to watch the videos that are already posted on the channel. Go over and watch the videos, like them and share them. That definitely helps me as well. And yeah, just continue to support in that way and just like the video. So that'll help as well, you guys. I will be back same time. Make sure you guys have that notification bell turned on. And yeah, I will be back soon. I'll just say that, but it'll be the same time. If I'm back tomorrow, it'll be 1:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you guys are in the building. All right. So thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. You have no idea. Stay tuned for more, you guys. Y'all be safe. And I will see you really, really soon. Thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. All the super chats, cash apps. I appreciate you guys for the support. Love y'all. Y'all be safe, and I will see you soon. Mwah. Bye.